I'm Alex,
And I'm Teddy.
And I'm Spencer.
and we are
The Button Mappers.
Hey, the Button Mappers. Welcome to the Button Mappers, where if you're not first, you're last. I want to get that out of the way because I know Spencer's going to say it.
It's The Last of Us Part 2.
It's me. It's Spencer, just like the first part, but this time we got another guest on. Who we got?
VG Mashup, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey! It's your third mapper.
Yes,
Video.
really looking forward. The third time's the charm, right?
Yeah, and you mapped out The Witcher 3. That was a big task, but I think today this is going to be a bigger task.
We'll see, hopefully. I don't know. Or maybe not so much, hopefully.
You only map out the big games. You're
Yeah, I
not
get all
doing
the-
you're not doing
Yeah,
Kirby with us.
We call
I
them
get
the
all-
big guns.
I get all the complicated projects. Yep.
we need a mapper. We're like, Amon. We need to get Amon. He's a professional.
We'll see about that.
So yeah, Last of Us Part 2. This is the first time we've done a map out of a game so close to its release. You know, it's been like 2 or 3 months, something like that.
Yeah. So it's kind of a record. It's two records.
Yeah.
2 records achieved. It's the newest game we've ever done, and also the closest to a release we've ever done at the same time.
And probably the most controversial.
Yeah. I would say I would agree with that. Have we ever done anything that was even kind of controversial?
No, I don't know. I mean,
I guess games
I mean-
haven't even been controversial really until like the last couple of years.
if I was on the last episode you guys recorded, it would have been controversial.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say anything.
Well, just because your opinion is wrong, but
Yeah,
I mean,
because
that's it.
because Amon doesn't know what the episode is, but I don't want to say what it is. But it went up
Not
before this one. Yeah, not yet. You don't know yet. So we are doing Last of Us Part 2, and we are going to be diving into everything. So if you have not played this game and you want to, don't watch this. I was going to tell you that because this is one of the games kind of like the first one. You just need to experience for yourself.
But if you didn't play it, you should still watch it and ruin it for yourself, because really our clicks are more important than whatever you're going to gain from playing a silly game. So
I'm the angel on your shoulder, and Spencer's the devil on your shoulder. We're just like arguing back and forth at you.
But hey, the good news is whenever you guys do get to complete it, you can always come back and watch it because we'll always be here. At least digitally.
That's true. At least digitally.
ooh, but if you want a spoiler-free one, I'm on. Isn't that your thing?
Yeah, plug him on's video.
Yeah, I did one video on that kind of touches on the spoiler-free aspect of the game. So if you want to, check it out, and then from there, once you've played the game, because I know that will generate enough interest, come back over here and check us out on the Mappers.
Yeah. Poor Teddy couldn't be here today because he didn't play this games. So I guess whenever you guys are ready, we'll just hop on in.
I'm
Ready
ready.
to go.
Okay. So chapter 1, we start out in Jackson. What happens in Jackson, you guys?
I think it's just the beginning of the game, just kind of giving you an introduction to the characters that we're going to be interacting with, some new ones, some familiar ones, and also kind of serving as a basic tutorial of how the movements occur, basic things like that. Pretty much standard for every game.
Yeah, it opens with Ellie and Joel talking from their conversation at the end of the last game, where she asked she asked about if he was telling the truth about them not being able to do anything, and he said yeah, and lies to her. And then it opens to them moving into Jackson, and Joel telling his cousin, his brother Tommy, that he lied to her about it. That's kind of where the story picks back up. So you kind of see like what their life is like in Jackson. It like fast forwards like a few years, and Ellie, how old is she in this game? She's like what, 17, 18, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I think she's
But she was
13, 13 or 14 in the first one?
Yeah, she was 14 in the first game. This is 3 years. So yeah, she would be
17 or 18, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So
They're living in like a country paradise. Like if you're a country music fan, this is probably what you would think of when you would want to live in ideally. Like
yeah, there's a guy playing a
bunch of cabins strung up with lights and playing banjos and bonfires.
Is this your kind of place, Amon? Is this where you'd want to live?
Not necessarily, but maybe the music and everything is all right, but the cold, I have to pass on that.
Oh yeah,
because it is set in Wyoming.
It's snowing.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I'm not. Well, I don't know about Spencer, but I'm not a cold weather guy either.
I'm from Arizona, born and raised, so I'm
the desert, out in the desert.
I'm not sure how I would do in the frozen.
You live like Mad Max. You're like rolling through the desert in like a muscle car, right?
I imagine that's what people consider Arizona living like. It's
another great game.
Yeah, it's me like rushing for water from place to place on my way to Safeway.
it's like Borderlands 1 if you guys ever played the first Borderlands.
Yeah. Lots of explosives.
Get attacked by like skags or whatever those little dogs are.
Yeah. But we learn a couple things about the environment, but we learn things about some of the characters, how they've grown up as well. Ellie is popular with a local lady. Although she has a boyfriend. Scandalous!
Her name is Dina. And his name is...
Jesse, I think.
Jesse, thank you. His name is Forgettable. Yes, Dina and Jesse, two of the prominent new characters in the game. And the game starts and there's a flashback of Joel and Ellie. Get ready to hear the word flashback all throughout this episode. God damn it. There's Joel is showing Ellie how to play guitar, saying, "I'm going to teach you how to play guitar." That was something that he promised her in the first game, and that's something that is coming to light. So he plays her a song that he wrote. Really, really beautiful little catchy song that he wrote. It's kind of sad. And from there, you kind of learn that Ellie has taken a liking to this whole guitar thing. That's neat.
Apparently, you can play real songs on it, which is, I mean, I guess it's true because you can play notes, so you can just
well, later in the game too, there's a little optional cutscene where she plays a song too.
Yeah, I think in a few areas you can access the guitar and kind of freestyle your way, whatever you want to do. So that was a pretty cool touch.
I played Through the Fire and the Flames from Guitar Hero 3. I'm just kidding.
That's the band. That's the band.
Impressive.
That plays that song. Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah, from Dragon Force, right?
There you go.
I just know it from Guitar Hero 3.
Man, I heard that awesome Killer Queen song. I think it was done by Guitar Hero.
Yeah, by Guitar Hero 4. So, Jackson, yeah, like you're kind of alluding to, Amon, you don't really do much here except for like learn new characters, kind of establish what the world's like right now, and learn the tutorial of like movement. There's like this little part where you and Dina get into a snowball fight with some kids.
Yep.
To kind of show you basic controls, and that's like a fun little moment. It kind of reminded me of Uncharted 4 when Nathan shoots the toy gun up in his attic. I don't know if you guys have played that game.
Yes, I remember that. It definitely is. And throughout the game, I know we're going to go through it in more detail, but what I really enjoyed about the game itself was the pacing. It's kind of the slow moments, really hectic moments, and story in between that sort of encapsulate the overall experience, which I really, really enjoyed.
So when the game starts, it's insinuated that Ellie and Joel have some issues going on. There's something's happened between them, and you're not really sure what.
Yeah, it kind of comes across as like teen angst, which obviously it's much deeper than that because this is The Last of Us. But at first, it's kind of like, to me, it was a little irritating. It was just like, oh my god, get over yourself.
Well, she's 17 and been through a lot, so I guess, but yeah, I can totally see what where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
Even though like it's nothing serious because that she mentions those times where you and Dina are sent out on patrol, to make sure that there's no infected around. So there's moments to where they are talking and they're like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" or whatever, and Ellie's like, "Oh, I think me and Joel are gonna watch a movie or something." It's like, he loves these cheesy old action movies and stuff. So so you can still tell that like their relationship's like able to be kindled, but just some they've had some sort of falling out, to where they're just some little fight or something.
Yeah.
So, with that said, yeah, Ellie and Dina go on patrol. They're on patrol. What happens? Anything?
Well, should we talk about what's going on at the same time?
We could. Let's get. Yeah, let's. Yeah. We can go ahead. This is gonna be a weird game to map out because it jumps back and forth a lot. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's another group of people here. They're not really in a cool town. They're kind of just in a little house. And you're playing as one of the females of them. And you don't really know much about them, but you know that they, at a certain point, that they can see where you are, your town.
Yeah.
And they're very interested in visiting you.
Yeah,
For
they're
some
like,
reason.
"Oh, we're coming to Jackson." I don't know what maybe they're bringing rations or something. Maybe they're.
Oh, and also this chick is buff.
Oh my gosh, she is beefy.
Shredded.
Which in this kind of world that they live in, that's how I prefer to be. That's how I prefer my women to be.
Well, and this is one of the major complaints of the game, so we should probably talk about it a little bit. It is pretty unrealistic if you're going for realism. It's
yeah, I guess.
For one, the body type, but in general also, and to get a body like that, you actually have to eat a lot of calories.
Yeah, that's kind of the like we had to kind of stretch it a little bit. Is like, how did she build up that much muscle in this kind of world?
Although I will say that the camp that you visit later on, where they're actually located at, is pretty well supplied too. So maybe
That's true.
in some way, shape, or form, you can justify that build
Good.
because they have their own kind of sort of farming and agriculture and everything else going on within a pretty self-contained system. So I don't know, but yeah, I see the point.
I think if you're doing it from an artistic standpoint, it's fine because you're clearly trying to show visually, because you don't have much else at this point, that she is a strong person.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you want pure realism, then yeah, it's a little stretch. But hey, you're playing a video game, so
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're playing a game where zombies have mushrooms on their head.
Yeah. That's the big
So-
complaint I hear, and it's like, I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, would you nitpick like any other game that does this kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
exactly. I mean, we just did Final Fantasy VII recently. There's no fucking way Cloud can carry that fucking sword around. That thing's huge.
Yeah, Barrett's got a Gatling gun on his arm.
Yeah, he's got a gun on his arm.
There's a talking robot
cat
with a cat.
weapon. Yeah, nothing in that game actually makes any sense.
Yeah. It's like just enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like people were just looking for something to nitpick, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
So her and this other guy are looking for Jackson. They're talking. They're walking around in the snow, and he mentions, and you don't know who these characters are at this point or the names or anything really. He mentions that this other person in their group is pregnant, right?
Right.
And Abby kind of gets a little sour about that. So you kind of get the feeling that these two have had some sort of relationship, in the past. And Abby goes off on her own. She's like, "Fuck it, I can do it by myself." So I guess do you want to cut back to Ellie?
Yeah, we can go back to Ellie.
So Ellie and Dina get caught up in a snowstorm. Woo! So they take shelter. They know that this other guy, Eugene, that used to do the same route, used to have a hideout that he would check out and hide out in every once in a while. So they find their friend Eugene's old hideout, and they go downstairs and they find some very interesting things downstairs.
Some great collections of plants and things of that nature.
Plants and videos. And a PlayStation 3 with a copy of Uncharted 2 and the Jack and Daxter collection. Damn you, Naughty Dog! Stop teasing me about Jack and Daxter. Yeah, no, they find some pot and some porn. It's a very interesting night.
2 P's.
Perfect combination.
Pot and porn. One of the porns is called Smash Brandy's Cooch. That was so funny when I found that. I was like, I never thought I would see Crash Bandicoot like degraded like that by its own creator.
That's awesome. And then they start making out. So there's that. But yeah, they're doing a little bit of that, and then they get interrupted, and they get kind of in trouble because they're not diligently searching for the zombies, even though they kind of were. They kind of finished that, but they do get in a little bit of trouble, and it's revealed to them that our old main character has gone missing. He hasn't returned back home. I'm just going to pause right here. I know. Damn it. I was trying to keep it fluid, and then I decided, because I didn't want to go too far, and then I just stopped. Anyway, we're good. I'm still recording, but I'm
back, everybody. Just keep it. Just keep it.
All right.
I was trying to go back over to where I have the tabs open to look at the plot outline, and I accidentally closed it. So I left the call for a minute. I was like, what?
The Brandy Cooch distracted you.
All right. Well, tell me I'm right.
I was distracted by Brandy's Cooch.
I said they started making out, and then they got caught, told to get back to work. Turns out Joel hasn't returned.
Yeah, Jesse's like, hey, what are you guys doing down here? And they're like, patrol. Yeah.
But yeah, Joel has not returned.
Yeah, what's going on with Joel? Joel was sent out on his own patrol with Tommy, and they haven't come back yet. So the town's a little worried about him because Joel's the main character, right? So we gotta get back to Joel.
That's right.
So I guess we'll cut back to the other mysterious character. And she is off on her own, and she gets ambushed by some infected.
You've already named her Abby.
Oh! Did I say her name?
Yeah, a couple times.
My bad. Her name's Abby. I didn't realize I said her name. I'm just so used to saying her name now.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about, like from going from slow moments to tense moments. This is really when she gets attacked by zombies, then you can really kind of get a sense of, basically the zombie attack coming up upon her and the urgency of her trying to escape that. That was done really well.
Yeah, and she's holding her own, but she gets some help by 2 other strangers who we as players recognize as Joel and Tommy. That's where they are. They're helping this other girl, Abby. Oh, that's very nice of them.
In retrospect, I would have said let her die.
So,
I wonder why.
I don't know. That's weird. Why would you say that, Spencer? Anyway, so they help Abby out and they get out of the situation. And Abby's like, I got this lodge up here that me and my folk have been staying in. We'll go there. So Abby, Tommy, and Joel head up to this lodge, and they walk in, and they're like, "Oh, thanks for having taking us in." And then they start talking to him, and I think it was Tommy or Joel or like one of them say, "It looks like you guys have heard of us or something," because they're kind of giving him these looks. And what happens from there?
It's not good.
We cut back to Ellie. And Ellie is I should say they knocked out Tommy and they grabbed Joel. So it goes back to Ellie, and Ellie is tracking down Joel. She's gonna find him,
Yeah.
and she finds the lodge, and she finds where they are downstairs. And about the time they walk in, what's happening?
The internet got mad.
Everything caught on fire. This game caught on fire. Naughty Dog headquarters caught on fire.
Yeah, the most controversial moment probably.
And I knew this was coming, guys. Like when I bought the game, I knew this was coming the day they announced they're going to be doing one. I was
You
like,
knew it
oh,
was going to
okay.
come this early?
Yeah, I like that was my first prediction. Was like,
Oh.
oh, this is going to happen.
I had no idea. I stayed away from the spoilers. I had no idea.
I'm pretty good, and I don't know if it's where I have a background in film. I'm not saying like I'm an auteur or anything, you know what I mean? But like I do film and I watch a lot of film and stuff, so I'm pretty good at catching on to themes. And with the theme of the first game, I knew going into the second one, there's no fucking way they were not going to do something like this.
I thought I knew he was going to die. I didn't think he was going to die so soon.
Why'd you say it? We don't know what happened yet.
Oh, because he dies.
Ellie, we should probably talk about the scene and then talk about.
Yeah. He
so
dies.
Ellie, yeah, he dies. Okay, moving on. Now Ellie runs in, and Joel's been beaten to a pulp by Abby. She has a golf club, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "What the hell?" And they like hold her down and stuff, and she's like, "Stop!" And I forget what Abby says. She says something about like, I don't know, you deserve. I don't know what she says to Joel, but she just fucking smashes his face in, and Ellie is like screaming like, "I'll kill you!" and all that stuff. You know, she's like not taking it well because obviously she's watching her father figure fucking die in front of her.
Yeah,
and it's a pretty heart wrenching moment.
Yeah, I think even before that, when Joel actually is the one that starts realizing that something is wrong because they know him too well, even though he doesn't know anything about that group. So when I think it's Abby or whoever else turns around and shotguns him and basically takes off his leg, is when you're like, oh man, something bad is about to happen. Yeah. And then of course that was like a really, what just happened right now?
A shock to the system, right?
Yeah.
And while I knew he was going to die in this game, like I just knew it. I didn't know it was going to be this soon. Like that was what caught me off guard. Was like I didn't know it was going to be like right at the open of the game.
Or this brutal. I mean, it was pretty brutal as well.
Yeah, and I do kind of like how this mirrors the first game with Sarah's death. Because that game, it's right at the beginning, it's brutal, and that one's also like a shock to the system, where you're like, oh god, but this one, I feel like this one was a lot more personal. While Sarah was sad, and and it set up the rest of the theme for the plot. Well, this one does the same thing, but the thing is that we know Joel, we are Joel in a sense.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what makes it not a shock to your system for the first one. Because the first one, you don't know the characters, and that like sets up who Joel is as we would know him. Yeah. But in this game, it's like he's like a normal. Like he would be the normal part. And then he gets removed from the equation completely going forward, which is like odd.
I've never seen any other game try this to my recollection. I know other games are like they made the previous main character like the bad guy or whatever else, but like I've never seen a game where they're just like, like imagine Uncharted 2, they were like, oh okay, first scene, like Nathan Drake just fucking dies. And they're like, okay, rest of the game you're whatever person.
I've got a sort of for you.
What is that?
Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh, that's true, but even then Snake is still around. He's like,
well, in this
right?
In this game he's still around.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like he's still like Snake was still an active part of the story.
Yeah.
And like he was like the Pliskin character or whatever. But you're like, that's fucking you're Snake. I know you. Stop doing that. So it's the same. Yeah, I guess I could kind of get that there. That's kind of a shock, but I think people remember that moment fondly, though. Of like, Raiden being the.
They say it now. They remember it fondly. They'll remember this one fondly in the future too.
Yeah,
they were mad at the time.
Yeah, give it 5 or 10 years. This game that opening will be like a revolutionary thing.
Yeah.
So
I think it was a very bold move to make, and something that quite frankly, our video game industry needs. I mean, they need something bold and courageous, even though they received a lot of hate for it. I think it was a
Well,
pretty cool move, something really unique.
Amon, what do you think people are mad about? Like, why would they be mad about this?
They killed my dad.
Well, not
Okay,
only
just
are they
kidding.
mad about Joel being dead, but actually the eventual, which we're going to talk about, the direction that Ellie takes, I think, is also what people are mad about, which I personally don't get. But they sort of get really upset after, you know. Well, we'll talk when we get to that level. But I
Sure.
think that's another thing. So basically, the way her character develops is also what people were pretty upset about,
Well,
and of course the whole Abby angle as well.
I think people, and I not just in games but films too, and like just any kind of type of media. I think people take issue with flawed characters because when you're watching or playing or reading something, you kind of reflect yourself upon the character that you're like watching or whatever. So whenever those characters make flawed decisions or things that you don't quite understand, it can be a little jarring, and I think some people just are not okay with that sort of thing. It's kind of like which some media does it really well. Like the show Breaking Bad does it really well, where the show opens and the character Walter White's super relatable, and that's how that show hooks you in. Is that like, oh, you're like Walter, and then at the end of the show, Walter's a terrible person, and for some reason you're still rooting with him, and that's an example of like a flawed character done well. I think this game they is still about a flawed character, but I don't know if it's done as well as that.
Yeah, and I think you can handle this a lot easier with movies and
Yeah.
TV shows and stuff. But when you have a video game and you're supposed to get connected to the character you're playing, for one, they cut that in half in this game. But also, when you're trying to get connected to that character and say like, what are my motivations? If they don't match up, it becomes a bit of an issue.
Yeah, it becomes a bit of an issue. So I can see that being a turn off point for this game. But I applaud Naughty Dog. They've tried something bold, which they've tried bold things before. I mean, Last of Us 1 was pretty bold. I mean, like everything. Like most of the games they've done, and they've put some bold decisions in there. But I think this is the boldest thing they've ever done.
Yeah,
So
definitely the one with the most backlash, I would say.
I would say impact. Thank you.
I will say though, this game would have gotten backlash no matter what they did.
That's true. I'm still in the camp, and I said that on the last game talk that I don't think this like the first game needed a sequel. Like if they never announced a sequel, I would have been perfectly fine with that.
Yep.
For the rest of my life. But the fact that the sequel exists doesn't mean I don't like it. It's like I'm still gonna give it a fair shot.
Yeah, I agree.
So Jill dies. And this is the only part of the game that I think they could have done a little more with. They kind of just gloss over it in a sense. Like Ellie is kind of like at his grave and she's like, oh man, he's dead and that's sad and I'm sad and stuff. But like I feel like they should have had more of like a service or something, or a little bit something else for the town, for Joel. Because I feel like if they were that concerned about him being lost in the first place, he would have been that would have been a bigger deal to everybody. Like it seemed like he was a big part of the town.
I guess I'm happy that it kept moving.
Yeah, I just wish there was a little something like maybe an extra scene of like a service of like when they did the service for the grave and stuff, of like kind of like showing that he was like an impactful character to them. Because for all we know, like he's just a nobody there, So it does kind of feel like that was kind of just glossed over a little bit.
I think maybe Naughty Dog realized that they probably have a lot of people upset to begin with. So
yeah, you're probably
salt
right,
in the wounds.
Yeah. It's like, oh, here's well, he died, and now you get to watch the funeral, and
Yeah.
Here's a 15-minute funeral section.
The funeral service part of the game
Just says, too bad. Too bad. He's dead.
oh my gut, Naughty Dog. Oh, you punched me right in the gut.
Yeah. Well, then we round out the chapter by by Ellie packing up. That's what the chapter's called, or section's called, and Dina insisting that she come along.
I'm going with you, and you're like, okay, Dina, okay, whatever, sure.
Is it clear right now that you guys are like in love with each other?
Well, they did make out with some weed.
Well.
So, yes, I guess. I mean, it's insinuated that they're like messing around, so which we knew Ellie was gay already if you played the DLC for one, which we didn't talk about that. Did you realize that? That we didn't talk about the Left Behind. I don't know if we did or not. I know we didn't talk about it as much as we could have. Talk about the Left Behind.
I think
stuff.
we decided we didn't want to.
Yeah, but that's before we played this game and knew that like some of that would be prevalent.
Yeah, I kind of knew all of it would be like.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect her to have an actual love interest.
Do you know what I thought it was going to be? And I'm pretty sure I read it somewhere. I thought Dina was going to die, and that was going to be her thing until Joel died later or something.
Oh, okay.
I thought that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I guess when they put out that like little cutscene during E3 a couple years back, that could have been picked up on where she gives her a kiss and stuff. You're like, oh, okay,
yeah.
And then she disappears. Yep.
Yeah. So, I guess I could see where you guys are coming from. My dollar was still on Joel. I was like, he's fucking dead, and I'm gonna cry. I know it's gonna happen. So they're packing up, and Tommy, Joel's brother, says, "Hey, no." Yeah, there you go.
The dialogue was not the best in this game. No,
and they're like, "What?" And he was like, "No, no, I was kidding.
You stay.
You stay."
But it's announced that they're in Seattle. The group was talking about being in Seattle.
Yeah, so Tommy's like, I'm gonna fucking kill him for Joel, and you guys just stay here. We don't want you getting involved. And Ellie's like, that's bullshit. And of course, because it's Ellie. So. But
Ellie decides to stay, and the credits roll.
Yeah, and the credits actually roll. That was the part two. It was. I can see why there was a lot of controversy. There's barely any game here. Yeah, there's barely any game here.
It's so short.
I found it interesting that they actually, while Joe was being killed and attacked, they let both Ellie and Tommy survive. Did you guys think that was one of the reasons, or the reason for them leaving them alive was eventually they were going to show the other side, the other angle of this?
I was picking up something because I was like, okay, why are they leaving them? And I was like, there has to be a reason they're just targeting Joel, and
I think it has to do a lot with the theme of the game as well, of the slow build of, which of course we'll get into later in greater detail, but when you have two groups focused on revenge, it's a slow decline.
Yeah.
And it starts out, we're just after the one guy, and then slowly more and more until everybody basically goes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, they killed Joel. You're not sure why, and at this point, I thought maybe that was the whole thing with Ellie. I thought maybe she just wanted answers, like why did this happen? And I think she even mentions that, why did this happen, And I was like, okay, so her motivation is to get answers, and it sure is, right? It sure is her motivation, I think. So I guess we should leave Jackson.
Let's do it.
We're leaving Jackson. Get on the horse, everybody.
All right.
Click, clap, click, clap, click, clap, click, clap, click, clap. Oh, we're here in Seattle. That's my favorite part of this game, when people just show up at the locations they need to be in.
Yeah, it took like 5 days or whatever.
Yeah, that's something that the first game does. Actually lets you see the journey in a sense, and then this game is just like click, clap, click, clap, click, clap. Seattle, day one. We're in Seattle now.
Would you believe it?
We went through all that stuff, man. I can't believe we went through all this other states and stuff. Did you see Arkansas? Oh, that was crazy. Okay, let's keep going. Show, tell, don't show. I think that's the term, right? Nope, it's show, don't tell. Sorry.
All right, so we have 3 days in Seattle.
With Ellie. Spoiler alert. So day one, what happens?
Well, we're at the gate, and then we're in downtown. I think you can combine them both. They're pretty much. The same.
Downtown, and this was a very interesting area for me because downtown is a very open area,
Yeah.
and I thought the game was going to be this for a minute. You know, like when I was first playing, I was like, "Is the whole game just going to be like an open map of like Seattle or something?" I was like, "This is going to be fucking nuts." You know, it's not. It's just this area. I was like, "Oh."
Kind of a strange choice. Yeah, it's like open world ish, not completely
Yeah,
open world.
it's just a tease, man. I was
Yeah.
like, this could have been a cool concept for the whole game. Like, like maybe that's like a remnant of like what they're going for or something.
If you recall on the Last of Us map out we did before, and if you haven't seen it yet and you're watching, make sure you check that out. It's got a lot of interesting info. I had requested slightly more open world concepts in the Last of Us.
Did I not want that? Of course, that was prior to me actually playing it.
You said it makes sense how it is, and I kind of agreed with you, but I think they handled it really, really well.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking because like I was playing this and I was like, oh man, like this is actually really cool.
Yeah.
Like they have you have to activate a generator for a gate, so you have to go find some like gas cans and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, and I'm like, oh man, like is the whole game going to be like this? Like hopefully it's not like, you know, because like that's my issue with like open world games is like pointlessness of like open world games sometimes, but like this was feeling like it was going to be really, really like really good.
And they introduced a couple new concepts, which is really the only new concepts pretty much for the game that separates itself from the first one. Is we have the ability to throw a rope,
Woo,
and the ability to break glass,
Yee.
which sound really simple, but they're actually, I mean, they add some layers.
They
gameplay.
they add realism.
Yeah.
I guess, especially with Windows. I don't really. The rope came up like 3 times. You know, not much, but
I liked it for the time
Yeah.
it was there.
yeah, it kind of like and Naughty Dog's been smart about that, especially with I guess Uncharted 4 and stuff, of making puzzles and things in the environment feel natural and don't feel like puzzles like programmed into a game. You know, they feel like things in the environment.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So yeah, there's this open area. You find all the gas cans. Did you guys find the music shop?
Yes. I think, yeah, I found the music shop. I'm trying to remember. I even found some collectibles from there, but I don't remember what they were.
Did you find the music shop, Spencer?
I don't recall a music shop.
There's a cutscene. Oh, did you miss this cutscene? I'm about to spoil it for you then.
No, go for it.
There's an optional cutscene where Ellie finds a guitar in this room in the music shop, and of course, you know she knows how to play that thing now, so she plays it, and she plays a slow version of "Take on Me." It's like a really somber version of "Take on Me." It's and it's a really cool moment. It's like optional; you can miss it, but it's a really cool moment.
Okay, maybe I did not get to that part.
Oh, did I spoil it for you too? Amon? Damn it!
Because I remember a music shop way later in the game, but
that's probably where I was then.
I don't remember it here.
Spencer, you're splicing this in. Then can you splice in like a clip, like just like a few seconds of that song?
Maybe
Because I feel like a crazy person.
if I remember it.
Oh, you'll be editing the video. I'm telling you, future Spencer, put it in. Don't listen to past Spencer.
Don't put anything in.
So what else happens in day 1 of Seattle?
It's a long day, but you do get through, and you're kind of just exploring. It says downtown here, but really all the places kind of tie into each other. So you're looking for an elementary school. There's a Capitol Hill.
Hold on. Isn't that where you get ambushed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just gonna outline them, and we can talk about them. But
sorry.
Capitol Hill, a TV. What do you call it? Like a
station.
TV station.
Yeah.
We got some tunnels, a theater, and there you go. So all that kind of ties within the downtown area, like that you just kind of travel through it. At first, the downtown area, like you guys said, is more of an open world area with some places to explore, including like there's like a church, right?
It's a synagogue.
Synagogue,
which sounds like a cinnamon bun or something. Man, I can go for one of those synagogues right now.
Oh boy. and then there's a couple other places, little secrets to find out there, like you said, a music shop. And then yeah, you end up at the Eastbrook Elementary, where is that the part where Dina jumps out and saves you?
Yeah, prior to this, you're riding a horse whose name escapes me, but I remember I liked the horse's name. It was like, I don't know, like Lightning Flash or something. I don't know. It wasn't Lightning Flash, but it was something like that. And the horse gets like, well, like I don't know if it's like it hits like a tripwire, right? And then the horse dies, and Dina rolls off over the hill. And then they catch Ellie, and then they take you back to the elementary school, and Dina fucking jumps through like a roof.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
I'm like, damn, Dina's a badass. So that's pretty cool.
What is the name of this group that's after you?
The Wolves.
The Wolves. There it is. Yep.
Yeah, the Wolves.
And the Wolves would be like another military-esque group that rebelled against the military.
They're similar to the Fireflies, and we'll talk more about that later about the Fireflies. But they are similar to the Fireflies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of an offshoot of them. They are fighting with yet another group, but yeah, they're the more militaristic style of group within Seattle
Yeah.
that Abby is a part of.
Spoiler alert! God.
You end up on Capitol Hill next.
I'm just a bill. I'm only a bill.
Capitol Bill.
I'm on Capitol Hill. Right? That's the Schoolhouse Rock thing, right?
That's it.
Okay.
Which Capitol Hill is more of an exploratory area. But I'm such a sucker for architecture, especially in video games.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just chock full of it. Like houses that open one way and you can come out the other. And just
It's beautiful.
Man, if Seattle wasn't on fire right now, I think it's just the most beautiful place ever.
Yeah. And we haven't talked about this, but I guess we could also mention this in the elementary school too, is that like this is really where the combat starts to show itself.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my fucking god, I love this game's stealth mechanics. This game, like this game, like I think if there's anything to take away is that this game improved the combat immensely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I mean,
so
the combat, the stealth, everything. Even the hand-to-hand combat felt so realistic.
Yeah.
And brutal. It was amazing.
You mentioned stealth, and that would be one of the other additions to the gameplay is the ability to go prone and hide in green, tall grass.
And you always have a shiv now.
Yeah. Just like
Which
you did.
Thankfully.
A nice mechanic.
You did in the first Last of Us when you played as Ellie, right? Didn't she always have one?
Yeah.
So I guess in a way you're the same character.
Huh. Because you are.
You literally are.
Dude, and I love in this game whenever you kill somebody and then somebody else finds them, they're like, "Oh my god, Danny! They killed Danny!" And then, like the first time that happened to me, I was like, "What the fuck? What is happening?"
Do I know Danny?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my!" Like I actually, like I felt like I was like, did I kill somebody? Oh, it's like a crisis.
Yeah, I also find it really interesting, as Ellie is killing the non-zombieous humanoids, I guess, if you will. She's like, as she's killing them, insulting them, as they're dying. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah. And then you go to the TV station because you're told that your first target is there.
Ooh.
Was this the part where she was the one you were looking for was already dead?
Yeah, I believe so. And you find some pictures, right?
Yeah.
That kind of leads you to the next area, and that's kind of like how these days go. As Ellie's just kind of like trying to track down Abby, so she's just kind of finding people in her group and leading them to the next area and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very.
The tower, I like the platforming segments and the walking segments here, and this is not an insult to the game at all, but it's just it's funny to see these areas and it's like, there's going to be a combat section here. It's kind of like at the Gears of War.
Yeah, you find chest-high walls.
Yeah, I love Gears of War. It's my favorite because they'll be like walking down a street and they'll turn the corner. There's like knocked over cart, and they're all just like lining the streets in these strategic areas, and you're just like, well,
We're in a fight. It's like when you're playing Mario Rabbids and you're walking, and then there's like the open battlefield
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
Okay, battle time.
Man, if I were a gardener, I probably wouldn't make my build my garden in such a way that people would have strategic combat in it.
The TV station is where you first hear the word Scar. I just wanted to bring that up, and that's a very important term we're going to be talking about for the rest of the game too. Is the wolves talk about scars being nearby or something, and you're like, the scars? Who are the scars? I don't know who the scars are. Okay, whatever. Just kind of glance over it. Okay, the scars. Okay, sure.
Yet another friendly group, right? In Seattle.
Yeah, and we'll get more into them. They're very interesting. I like to talk about them, but time will come.
At this point, you do get chased into the tunnels, right?
Got tunnel vision. Sorry, I was trying to do Teddy's pun thing, but I didn't know if it worked.
I think you're doing a great job.
Okay, I'm trying to fill in for Teddy too.
And it's more of the Last of Us kind of dark gameplay, but I think this had one of my favorite moments in it, or at least a prelude to what would be my favorite moments, which is kind of a new thing. Is you're there obviously, humanoid enemies and infected enemies.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the triangle that exists there, which I wish they had done more in this game, but they did it, sparingly.
Yeah, you can get the infected and the other humans to just kind of kill each other if you kind of are like sneaky enough.
Throw some bottles, make some noise.
Yeah, make some noise.
Yeah, I would do the exploding thing, whatever that is.
The like Molotov?
Not the Molotov. That one does the fire, but the one that just explodes. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, I'd throw that at somebody's head, so I have to make sure I hit their head, and then it was perfect because they would all just kind of converge and they would just have this big war with each other.
Do you know what my favorite thing is about Ellie's gameplay?
What's that?
The traps. I don't know if you have them this early on though.
The traps are awesome.
The trap mine is my favorite thing in the game, and I use trap mine every chance. My sister was watching me play this game, and so I don't want to jump ahead, but there's a boss later on in the game that's like pretty tricky, and I killed it with the fucking trap mine. And she was like, "What the hell?" And I was like, "Yeah!" Like I was like shotgun and trap mine. I killed it my first try. And she was like, "Oh my god!" Because like she had played through it before me because she was such a big fan already. So she watched me do that part. She was like, "Oh my god!" Trap mine, man.
The shotguns were pretty impactful in this game overall as well. I really enjoyed them. Plus, there were some really cool boss battles as well, like you mentioned. So that was a really neat addition, I think.
I can't wait till we talk about the boss battle. I know you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, tunnels, and then you get out of the tunnels, and it's time to go see a movie, right?
Yeah, we got like a hub, if you will.
This is interesting, and this is. I think would be. I don't know if they were like originally planning an open world, but this would have been also cool because you have a main hub, so you could have had this be where you go between area, like between missions, and just had like an open Seattle, right?
Yeah, I would have been cool with that.
I think also in the tunnels it is revealed that to Dina at least that Ellie is immune to the poison. Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. There's a whole area with spores, right?
Yeah.
And then she falls and her master breaks, and Dina's like, "Take mine." And Ellie's like, "No, wait, don't take yours off." And then you find out that which I find it funny, the scene where they're like making out and smoking pot. Ellie tells her that she's immune, and Dina's like, stop fucking around. Yeah. And then this part, it's like, oh, you actually are.
Yeah.
So,
well,
cool.
we do learn two things at the end of the tunnel section. Because the other thing is
Ellie's pregnant.
Ellie's pregnant?
No, I'm just kidding. Dina's pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, we do Pregnant Mom Simulator. That's the game. That's the rest. I'm just kidding.
It's more of a comedy than anything.
Dina is pregnant. She's preggers, and Ellie's like, "What the fuck? Why did you come with me if you knew this?" And she was like, "I didn't know till we were on the road." So
Yeah. But yeah, you're at the movie theater, and it's more, again, this is not an action packed part. It's kind of like what Amon was saying. It's just a little slower. Take it in. You get to play guitar for a little bit.
Yeah, this is where you can practice the guitar.
Do you find the radio yet? Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where you do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, you go activate the radio, which is how there's a map in the radio, so that's how they're like tracking them. How Ellie is going to track down Abby.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Like I like having a little HQ like this.
Yeah, there's also some commotion going on between the groups, and the wolf are confused about who's basically killing their group members, etc. So there's a little bit of confusion that you can hear through the radio as well.
Yeah. So like, who's killing everybody? What's happening? And then other than that, Ellie, she plays a little. Wait, this is the part where she plays a bit of the song Joel wrote. I forget.
She may have played that. I don't remember. I didn't specifically pay attention to what song.
Oh, I think she plays like a little verse from the song that Joel wrote whenever he was first teaching her how to play guitar, and then it goes to one of my favorite times in the game, the flashback sequence. Get ready for this.
One of many.
One of many. So this flashback opens with Joel, and Joel's teaching Ellie how to swim. Hey, she couldn't do that before. And she can do that now. That's cool.
Yeah.
Remember that? That makes sense, story-wise and mechanically. Because
She'll be
fuck
swimming.
fuck the segments in the first game where you had to help her out.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that shit again. So
They're just hanging out at a dinosaur, or well, really it's a museum, but they're in the
You just
dinosaur
ruined
exhibit.
it. He hadn't gotten there yet. They were swimming, and then Joel was like, "Come on, I have your birthday gift." And she's like, "Where are we going?" And it's a surprise. It's like a big science museum. Yay!
Yeah. And it's pretty cool. I wonder how real to life these are. Because I've been to Seattle, but I've been to the aquarium.
I don't know if this was in Seattle though.
Oh, was this back in Wyoming? This was back in Wyoming, huh?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll have something to say about the Seattle one.
They went from here. Yeah, they went to this place from Jackson, so I guess it would be closer to Jackson.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. It's probably one they made up, but I like this segment a lot. When you walk in, there's a little gift shop where you can get a little cowboy hat, and then one of my favorite parts is that it's totally optional. You can just take this cowboy hat, and Ellie can put it on like every one of the dinosaurs' heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joel's like, "Why are you like this?" She's like, "You're just having fun."
Yeah.
It's a sweet moment, sweet part. You're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I kind of miss Joel."
And then you get to go into the space capsule.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. Was it that President evident in the first game that Ellie's kind of like she's into that kind of stuff? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's into animals because she is really impressed with a giraffe that she sees.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, this was a pretty cool touch. I mean, basically, it's more of a bonding moment between Joel and Ellie, kind of showing what they're going through. And
Oh yeah, it was Joel brings out her real birthday gift.
yeah,
So they're sitting in the capsule, and she's like, "This is so cool." And then she had which I think she had in the first game. She has a little Walkman, right? And then he pulls out a tape and gives it to her, and it's like a launch sequence.
Yep.
So he tells her to close her eyes and listen to it, and she has this like little daydream almost that she's like being launched into space, and it's like such a fun little moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Naughty Dog is really masterful at telling these types of, intricate story moments that pretty much I don't think anybody else really can do, at least not yet.
And
to me, I don't know if I saw a moment that hit me harder than the giraffe one.
Oh, in the first game?
Yeah.
Well, I think that moment in the first game is so impactful because they've been through so much together, and they had that fight, and then the whole thing happened with Joel getting wounded and David. So like that was almost like a right after a storm. It was just like really calm and nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus I think this particular moment was impactful just because we already knew that Joel was dead. I think if he was still alive and we were going through this flashback, it would not have mattered nearly as much.
Yeah, you've been
But
like,
the
oh,
fact that
nice.
he was dead,
Yeah.
that made it way more impactful.
This moment meant something else for me too, because like I didn't know they were going to be doing this, where they show Joel and Ellie interacting in the past, and I was like, oh, this is cool. But I kind of also have mixed feelings about it, and we'll talk about that later.
All right.
So, so anything else to say about Dinosaur Land?
Not me. It closes up chapter 2.
Okay, moving on. Day 2 in Seattle. From here on, the days in Seattle with Ellie get a little shorter.
She reads or she hears on the thing that she's got to go to Hillcrest.
What's a Hillcrest?
Oh, small town, I guess, or something
Hills?
with hills. This is where we see some dogs.
Crest toothpaste? Oh my god.
Oh, those dogs.
Were you guys as freaked out as I was the first time you played this part?
Yeah,
And
yeah. I wasn't expecting them to be so aggressive.
Yeah, because they like start sniffing you out, and if you go into like listen mode, you can see where like they know where you are. The dog knows where you are, so you better move. And I was like, oh god, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, I felt bad about blowing some dogs up with some traps, but I was like, whatever, man. They're gonna catch me. I got to do something.
I mean, it was pretty fucking metal. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm no animal lover, so whenever I see dogs in the game, they're the first. It's like, boop, you're dead.
You heard it here first, everybody. Spencer the dog killer.
Yeah. No, it's cool though. They had a wrinkle to it because you can't just hide your way through the fights.
Yeah.
But if you take them out with a bow and arrow, it's pretty much game over.
Yeah, which I also liked the fact that you could still get into like scraps with them and take them down melee too.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But it did add a whole new level, and I was welcome to this change. I love stealth games, so I was all for this. I was like, oh yeah, let's bring it.
Yeah, I always play stealth. I think it's great. It's like a lot of residential area as well here, which again, total sucker for architecture and game mixing that with game design. And I love just these big sprawling like green areas that have combined themselves with nature at this point.
Well, we talked about that in the first game too, with the area with the towers. It's like it's like bent over and stuff.
Yeah.
And we talked about how much we liked that area
Mhm.
for that reason. Because it was kind of like nature and like humanity has kind of like become one in a sense.
Yeah, I think Naughty Dog really knows what they're doing at this point with these kinds of level design segments. They're just unparalleled in any game.
And their graphics amazing as well.
We haven't talked about graphics much. This game's gorgeous.
Oh my god, this game's a PS5 game, everybody.
I know.
We got the PS5 early. I've only seen one game that looks I think looks a little more impressive than this game, and that's the Ghost of Tsushima that also just came out. But even that's hard to rival,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
You ready for another flashback?
Oh, this soon?
Yeah.
Here. This is my problem with the game, but okay, here we go. I'll talk about it at the end.
Okay. We're going through a flashback where you're learning how to use a sniper rifle
Ooh,
with Tommy.
with Tommy Boy. Tommy's a sniper. Did you know that? He's pretty good with it too.
Might want to put that in your memory bank.
Foreshadowing, everybody.
I actually really enjoyed this moment because this was one of the very few instances where you did not have to worry about ammo. You could just take your time, shoot as many times as you wanted to, and it was kind of fun.
Well, and I like the fact that this game, because I don't think the first game had snipers, did it? I don't believe it did. So this game, like the fact, like how the sniper rifle mechanics work, is like that of an actual sniper rifle. You know,
It's
Yeah.
like bullet drop and everything.
yeah. So it's like you have to actually measure distance, and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking cool. Because most games that I played, like the aforementioned Borderlands, it's like just put them in the middle of the thing and shoot them.
As a non FPS player, I'm kind of okay with that, but it kind of fits this one to be a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like I liked it. I liked the realism here.
Yeah.
That's cool. So they shoot some guns. Yeehaw! Yeehaw!
It's time to meet up with Joel.
Daddy,
Time to meet up with Daddy.
Daddy.
And looks like there's a hotel that they want to look at for.
Yeah,
So they're gonna go take a gander at it. They're looking for supplies, or are they looking to clear out a infestation?
they find there's a music store up the road.
Okay.
Joel says, "Hey, there's a music store up the road. We should go get some strings for the guitar." And you're like, "Okay, Daddy." That's what she says. No, that'd be weird. He says, "Okay," and things are kind of odd in this flashback between Joel and Ellie.
Yeah, a little bit
And you're
tense.
You're like, "What is going on?" So they're cutting through this hotel to get to the music store, and man, they're just having a no good, very bad day, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, they're not agreeing on things. There's a lot of infected in here, so it didn't quite work out as planned.
Yeah.
And we get to see our first new boss.
Would you call this one new?
Was this one in the other one?
It's a bloater, right?
Shambler.
Oh, that's right. Emma, it's a shambler. Yes, new then. Sorry. I forgot. I knew you thought a big thing here. I don't know why I thought it was a bloater.
Yeah.
Those bastards.
What's the deal with the shambler?
Shamblers are the ones that can like explode near you, right?
Just like my ex-girlfriend.
Oh boy.
I gotta be relatable for the audience, everybody.
Yeah. My girlfriend explodes too.
I'm married. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, Amon's in danger. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Yeah. So shamblers can like explode and deal a bunch of poison damage to you, and they also just punch you.
What is this, an RPG? Ellie got 10 poison
Yeah.
damage. Yeah, quick, use an antidote.
But much like a bloater, they're very difficult to take down. I don't think they're quite as hard as a bloater, but they're still difficult to take down, and it becomes a problem in some of the tighter corridors because you really can't like dodge them when they explode. You just have to be far away.
Yeah, you got to move, and I think what's hard about this section is not only is he coming at you, but there's a bunch of other infected still like trying to get a piece of that pie.
Get a piece of that pie.
I'm on it today, boys.
Yeah. Pretty cool scene. Yep. And what happens at the end of this scene?
Joel and Ellie get into an argument.
About what?
And I believe this is one of the parts where Ellie asks Joel again what happened at the hospital, and he promises that nothing happened. You know, that he was telling the truth, that they couldn't do anything. And so you're kind of picking up on the fact that, Ellie knows that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's putting a strain in their relationship.
They're just gonna keep this tension going for the rest of the freaking game.
The Seraphites!
There it is.
I was moving on to the next chapter.
Is that your idea of a transition?
Yeah,
Just shout it at us?
Yeah. Just wipe the. Well, I had nowhere to go after that sad, awkward moment. So
You say, speaking of tense moments, we got in a fight with the Seraphites next.
Oh,
See how a pro does it?
I'm not as good as you and Teddy, man. I just kind of blurted it out.
Well, I'll show you the next one. One.
Oh, okay.
Go
Give me a train me on the map.
Go ahead. So, who are the Seraphites? What's going on?
Well, previously I had mentioned at the TV station that the wolves were like, "Oh, the Scars must have done this," And we find out that the Seraphites and the Scars are one and the same. So the opposing group. We don't know much about them yet, but they're scary and they love to work while they whistle. I know it's whistle while you work. While you work.
Yeah, you're being clever. This has one of my most memorable parts in it, and it has nothing to do with the Seraphites.
What was that?
There was a building that you have to throw a thing on and climb the rope. You have to throw a rope through and climb it to get into this window.
Oh yeah.
But so what happened was, across the street from that building, there's like a diner.
Yeah.
And I threw a brick through the window. Just like, I want to see what's in there. So I just casually threw a brick through the window, and like 5 infected just crawled out of the window and chased me. And so I ran up on top of a car, and I couldn't go anywhere. And I was really bad at aiming. I think I actually had this recorded. Me just like missing everything because I'm just not very good. And then I jumped on the rope and climbed up, and then did like a swing thing, whatever it is, and then just kind of like shot him from the roof.
That's
from
awesome.
the overhang thing. So it's just a really like a testament to how far I was in the game and how terrible I was still at it. But no knowledge of the mechanics or anything.
I think this is an example of the area of like the level design puzzles not feeling like puzzles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is one of those that like it just kind of felt natural to like find the spot for the rope and toss it over and stuff. And it's not really like it's not laid out for you. You just kind of used your context clues to kind of put it together.
Yeah.
And it's not like oh, Nathan Drake. Oh, I better check my journal. Oh, the journal says there's a symbol here and a thing here, and I gotta It's like, oh, I have a rope. There's some windows and there's a thing over there. Okay, obviously I should probably try to get over there.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it.
The Seraphites are a little different though. Than our typical enemies. They use a lot more crossbow or bow and arrow, crossbow kind of things.
Yeah.
And generally they hunt a little bit more than the others would.
Yeah, so this first section, to ease you in, they are in some tall grass, and you can kind of go prone in this area to kind of help you out, because the Seraphites are scary, man. They whistle, and they are not holding back.
Yeah, they communicate via whistling, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, which I mean, I think we should do a whole podcast like that.
I'm out.
Did you just say like, comment, and subscribe?
Yeah, and don't forget to ring that bell. Not me. Could you imagine if we uploaded a whole video of just us whistling and people were like, "What the fuck?"
So you make your way.
Seraphite special.
You make your way through a mall,
Ooh.
and then eventually a hospital in search of someone named Nora.
Hospital.
And which will eventually lead to probably one of the more famous scenes. I'm saying famous, but I'm assuming it's going to be famous later when people stop.
I think I know what you're talking about too.
Yeah.
I hope I know what you're talking. We know what you're talking about, but I think I do.
On the way, you get a lot of very Last of Us scenes where you're going through an abandoned X, including one where you fight a couple like of the big Seraphite people, like with the hammers, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're coming at you. You better fucking buckle up. And that sucks for me because one of my biggest things is like if I get caught, my first intuition is just to fucking go for him melee and. Those guys, that is not happening. I got chopped in the stomach quite a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were quite a few restarts for me too in this game, so that's for sure.
And I think this was the music store that I was referring to. Is this what you were talking about too?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They're pretty tough. And actually, right here, I was also very, very far behind on my ammo. So it became a huge problem for me.
No. What were you playing on?
Like, what was I using?
Your like difficulty.
Oh, normal.
Okay, yeah, me too. Okay, I was just asking.
Yeah, I was a little bit low, so I think I eventually just threw enough threw like don't know, a bomb or something. I don't remember how I got, but I literally had like 2 bullets.
Was it a big booty bump?
It was a big booty bump.
Big booty bump.
Yeah. But eventually you do find Nora, and you have to chase her down.
Yep.
And this has a part where I got another part where you can fight. You can have the clickers and human enemies at the same time. Which I played this a little bit smarter. I let them fight and then snuck my way out of the room,
There you go.
which was awesome. I literally just didn't do anything, which is cool.
I like to kill everybody, so I'm pretty sure I just killed everybody.
There's a soundbite.
I like to kill. No, you said something about you're not a fan of animals, so you blow up dogs. So I mean,
We'll use
I'll
that.
soundbite you.
We'll
I'll
use that
soundbite
against
you.
each other.
Soundbite war. Teddy,
like-
get on it.
I feel like I'm Abby and you're Ellie right now.
I'm
Just at
Joel.
odds.
I'm dead.
You're Joel. I wouldn't want to be him right now. But you do find Nora eventually, and you're asking for where Abby is.
Well, you chase her into a sport area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, "You're crazy," and you're like, "Yep."
And this is where you violently beat her to death.
Yeah, this part I think is the first turning part where I started to realize that maybe Ellie's in this for some other reasons.
Wait, we kind of skipped over something.
What we skip?
You had mentioned in the zone prior that this is where you're starting to have problems with the cutscenes, with the flashbacks.
Okay.
What's going on? What's wrong with the flashbacks? Because we're gonna get into some more in a second.
Do I have to bring it up now, or can I bring it up?
You
later?
want to wait till a little bit?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, we'll wait.
Because like there's more to see, and I want to wait till we kind of lay out the flashbacks before I really talk about my issues.
Gotcha.
Because I think it's better to explain it.
I think the flashbacks, without going into detail, kind of help me, at least help me understand why Ellie was so upset. That was my personal thing, because there are a lot of things that happen, a lot of things that she's not able to say, that really you can feel why she's so upset at, basically the stuff that she's doing.
I'll get into it later because it's something I brought up to Spencer before we even started the episode, and it's something that I want to talk about. But I think it's better if we wait until we've gotten at least mostly through the game before I really talk about it, because you really need to experience, or at least hear about the rest of the flashbacks and stuff to really understand my point.
Well, speaking of flashbacks, we're at St. Mary's Hospital.
Oh,
It's another flashback. And
St. Mary.
This is where Ellie's going to find a tape recorder and figure out that it was, in fact, a lie, what Joel told her.
Joel killed everybody to save her, and that's it. He's kind of an unorthodox thing, but I think we talked about that in the first game. It kind of raised the question, of Joel being the good guy or the bad guy. So
They have a big falling out at the end of this, and
yeah, she gives him another chance. She gives him one more chance, and she says, "If you tell me the truth, I will, stick around. We can work it out. But if you lie to me one more time, I'm done with you. I'm out of your life." So he tells her the truth. Which I felt bad for Joel at this point, because that had to hurt him.
yeah.
So
Well, luckily through your beating, you found out that Abby's at the aquarium.
hey,
And here's kind of what I wanted to talk about, because I've been to this aquarium, and I don't remember it exactly looking like this, although it could have. But I do remember the outside of the aquarium, and it did look like this.
Did you go before or after the zombie apocalypse?
that's a good question too, because we are in the middle of one.
I went before, so I guess it could be. Things could have changed. The zombies added some buildings.
Well,
Did a little reconstruction.
Yeah. Got a whole new market.
Yeah, we got to cater to the zombies now.
The lawnmower people got laid off and stuff, so maybe some difficulties with maintaining the building.
Yeah. But yeah, it did look similar. Like it has I've been to that Ferris wheel before, and I've been to the little area outside of it, the little dock kind of thing. So it was kind of cool to see how realistic that was. That's why I was curious if the Wyoming one was actually true to life. I bet you it is. Yeah, we're on the road to the aquarium now. It's more Seattle.
Yeah, it's day 3.
And we're finding that the area is much more flooded.
Yeah, this I really enjoyed.
we didn't bring this up, but we find somebody before this, right? Don't we meet up with an old friend?
Oh yeah. Have we met them yet?
I think so. Right? Is it around this part?
It's gonna be.
No, I think it's when. Well, maybe it is. I don't remember.
Oh well, we can just bring it up. Jesse's here or whatever. Okay. Jesse shows up. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's during the residential area. I think when she's trying to maneuver, get into a vehicle to escape somewhere, and
yeah. I'm glad I remembered his name because, like I said at the beginning of the game, his name really should have been Unforgettable. Because he's unforgettable, sure thing. Just kidding. He's pretty forgettable.
Okay.
Anyway,
lost my place for a second.
We're in the podcast, Spencer.
I know. And then, all right. So you do find out that the city's flooded right now, and you get to maneuver around in a boat, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite parts of the game too. With the big, where you get to steal the boat, and there's the big open area where you can kind of like swim across and stuff. I loved this area because I would set some traps and kill some people, and then I would jump into the water and they wouldn't know where I went. And I really felt like Rambo in this part. Like I was like maneuvering to like different points of the area, and they were like, "Where did she go? Oh my god!" Bob! Like I was like, "Yeah." It was like I had like a bandana on. I was like, "You drew first blood."
I think probably the most memorable part of this area is the arcade, right?
Where Naughty Dog teased me. Stop teasing me, Naughty Dog. You find a Jack X arcade cabinet for the game Jack X Combat Racing, and it's like Naughty Dog's just like, oh man, that wound that you have right there where we canceled Jack 4. Let me just put a little more salt in there. Here, come here.
But I think this is where you do a boss battle encounter too.
Yeah,
at the arcade.
Yeah, boss battle.
Was this one against the bloater?
Yeah, this one's the bloater, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, what's up, boys?" It's me, the
this
bloater.
one says it's a shambler as well. I could have sworn.
God damn it!
I could have sworn it was a bloater.
No, it was a bigger, whatever it was a more upgraded version of whatever we fought earlier.
He's a big dude.
Okay, so it's a shambler. But either way, big guy.
Bloater's in my lexicon due to the first game, so.
Yeah, these fights are tense. Especially when you're by yourself. The other time you were with Joel, so he was doing some work.
Yeah.
Although it doesn't seem like a lot when I was playing it, but
he smashes all the arcade cabinets. Sad thing. Gamers were hurt. This is the real reason why gamers are mad.
Yeah. But finally, you make your way to the aquarium.
Woo! You find some more scars and stuff, but whatever, you kill them, and then you go to the aquarium.
Yep.
Yeah, the weather effects throughout that Germany are just amazing. The aquarium is next to the water line and all. And there's a storm, of course, the flooding, everything, which is pretty frightening in and of itself. And then you see those water effects, those powerful waves. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you make your way into the aquarium. What happens?
You find some peeps, not the peeps you're looking for.
But they might know where the peeps looking for is.
That's kind of how it's been going.
You got to interrogate them.
Yeah.
So Ellie, which earlier in the game, it's shown that whenever Adina and Ellie are tracking Tommy for the first day in Seattle, she finds where he interrogated somebody, and she's like, I've seen them interrogate like this before, so I know this is Tommy. she tries the same sort of thing here, but it kind of backfires a little bit. She tries to get one of them to show where Abby is on the map, and then the other one has to do it, and they better match up, or she's going to do something to him.
Yeah.
But she kind of gets caught off guard, and they kind of get into a little bit of a scrap. And she kills the guy. It's the guy that we met in the first cutscene with Abby.
Yep.
And she also kills the woman, and then she finds out that what is the woman?
Pregnant.
Oh God! You killed a
Double.
pregnant woman. So
Double points.
I mean, yeah, double points. Combo. Oh man, this is a hard moment too, because Ellie, she realizes what's happened, and she like throws up, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And then Tommy shows up, and he's like, "Hey, come on, it's okay." And then in my brain, I was like, "You could have showed up like 3 minutes sooner."
I think it's her being affected at all by the pregnant thing is kind of dumb.
You think? What's your take on that?
She's killed a lot of people.
Yeah, but she hasn't killed like a child.
Yeah, I just think it'd be a stretch at this point in her.
I felt the
her
same way.
career.
Remember we were talking about the first game. We were talking about the when we found where the kids all died in like the tunnels and stuff, and the guy was like killed himself because of it and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same feeling I had here, where it was like, oh man, like this got dark. And I think this is where Ellie realized that like she's becoming like a fucking monster in a sense.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see that. I just think that specifically her being pregnant and it affecting Ellie in that way is a little bit. It's like, come on.
Well, what do you want him to do, Spencer? Do you want him to show Ellie fucking shoot a kid in the head or something? Like, this is the best we're getting, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think also to remember is that those people were present while Joel was getting beaten to death. So it's not like these are some random people that just showed up. I mean, she's actually recognizing these people from the events that actually led to Joel's death.
That's true. So I don't know what kind of impact that like changes. If it really. That's true, but I don't. I still think like this is the darkest we could have had her go. Because once again, Naughty Dog's not going to have her kill some kid or something.
Yeah.
Little boy, where's Abby? And he's like goo goo gaga.
But Joel and, or sorry, not Joel. He's dead.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah. Tommy and Jesse have joined you now, and you're heading back to the theater.
Yeah, and you get back to the theater, and it's been real heavy.
So the three of you talk about what to do next, but I do want to bring up here, and it's kind of why the Jesse and Tommy stuff was important before, is their intention was to let it to find their target and then leave. And they had just decided they wanted to leave. That it wasn't like they've killed enough people. It's like, it's done. We're good. We're going to go home. And Ellie was like, no, I know who I want to kill and I'm going to kill her.
Yeah.
And they kind of play off of each other like why are you still here? Like, we're done. But she doesn't want to be done with it.
Yeah, and it's a theme that we'll talk about, I guess, at the end of the game. It's really like the overarching theme of the game, and something that like you really pick up on. Like I said, those moments where you kind of realize that Ellie is becoming a bit of a monster.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But they're talking about going home now, planning out the map and everything.
Yep. It's all smooth sailing from here. This is actually in the game. They go back to Jackson. She's like, oh, forget it. They can live.
Yeah. No, not quite. They run into, in the theater, Abby and some little person. Not
oh my God, is that
little person? I'm talking about.
Is that an MMA fighter? Oh, sorry, that was Abby.
Yeah.
She's there and she's square.
Yeah.
She's gonna shoot you square in the head. So she shoots Jesse, right?
Yeah.
And she has Tommy. And then she's like, stand up. And she's like, why did you do this? She's like, and Ellie's like, I know why you're after us, because Joel killed Joel saved me and stuff. I'm the antidote. I'm what you want. And Abby's like, I let you live and you did this. You killed my friends, And then you're like, oh, where is this going?
Yeah. All right.
Time for my favorite word.
Go for
Flashback.
it.
We are now at the halfway point. If you would like to stand up and go get some popcorn or use the restroom or anything for this intermission, go right ahead.
Yeah, this is where Tommy gets shot too. So Tommy is shot.
He's shot in the leg, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think he's
It's-
He's
not
not-
just the leg. He gets.
It's not like brutal because he's at the end of the game.
I think it's in the back.
Yeah, it's okay.
And then
yeah, see, it's
yeah,
not
but
like,
we don't know if he's alive or dead. But then,
okay.
But then, Elliot's about to get killed, and this other mysterious person that you're talking about tells Abby, who is the perpetrator, to, hey, stop or don't do it or whatever. And basically she lets Ellie go yet again, from what I remember.
Flashback. And now we get to play as this. Oh, who is this character? Oh, it's like a 14-year-old girl, something. I don't know. Maybe it's like a character they haven't introduced yet. Oh my God, is this Abby?
It is.
So we play as Abby when she was around the same age as Ellie was in the first game, and she's walking with a guy who we presume is her father. He's teaching her how to track, right?
Yes. And this is also one of the most hated points in the game by a lot of people, because they're like, we do not want to play as this character because of what she did to Joel. So that was the major controversy.
Yeah, so like building up to this point, Abby's the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Abby's the final boss. Abby's Ganondorf. You're gonna fucking save the day. What? I have to play as Abby? What's going on? That's just silly.
I was cool with it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is not the direction I thought this was going, but okay, sure.
Yeah.
I was just happy that the dogs were now my friends. Thank goodness.
So you're hanging out with your dad. You're like, what's up, Dad? He's like, this is how you track things. And then, for what I remember, the dad summoned back because something very important's happening. What's happening, Spencer?
They found Ellie.
What? Wait, so who's this guy?
He is the doctor that Joel will eventually kill in his final rampage.
Oh, I'm sure that won't come back on him.
Well, it did. They killed him at the beginning of this game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Brutal revenge, remember?
So now we get a flipped scenario. At the beginning of the game, Ellie had to watch her father figure die, and now Abby has to literally see her father dead. So it's kind of like the two stories are being told, and they're kind of mirroring each other in a sense. And there's other examples of that as we go along. So
It's worth noting that when was the last time you saw the original game where Joel kills the doctor?
like, I don't know, 2017 when I played through it last.
Because he looks black.
Oh, did they change him?
Yeah, I think they changed who it is, which is kind of weird.
Wow.
But it seems like a small detail, but it is kind of.
I mean, I didn't
for a
know
company that's very smart about their details. It's weird that they would miss that.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they didn't want a black secondary main character. I don't know how controversial that opinion is, but honestly, that's probably why the change was made. But I don't I'm not saying that in a bad, as a bad sense.
Right,
I think
right.
which because they just did they did Uncharted Lost Legacy, and but one of the main characters in that game is black, so it's not like they're not willing to do it. I'm questioning why they made the change.
Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, I don't remember the Last of Us Doctor. It's too far back.
Yeah, and I think that's probably one thing too, is it's such a minor detail, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they'll patch it in.
Give it a little shader.
Would you believe that if they patched the Last of Us on PS3 and PS4 in?
Yeah, we got this game-breaking pass. There's an issue with one of the levels. Also, we changed the color of one of the characters.
That would be Return of the Jedi all over again.
Yeah.
Hey, George Lucas, get out of the editing room.
It's the Last of Us Special Edition. We have a CGI zombie that runs through the game.
But besides that weird change, let's just roll along for it, with it for the story's sake. Her dad's dead. Her Poppy's dead. Poor Poppy.
And this places us in the stadium in Seattle.
Ooh, take me out to the ball game.
It's cool because in the first, with Ellie's part, we get to see where they are, their whole
Jackson
world
and stuff.
Yeah, and now we get to see this one, which is also a big, sprawling group of people. Although they don't have it like Ellie did with all the cool houses and everything. They're kind of all huddled together in a stadium.
This is very much like a military base.
Yeah, military base. Yeah.
Amon, do you have any experience with military bases?
Yes, I did. I did have them. That reminded me of that.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah. So, but it was a cool environment. It was nice to see, basically how the other side was surviving in this apocalypse. Really neat touch there, basically going through all the environments and talking to the people that you saw, or some of the people that you saw, make that trip over where Joe was killed, interacting with them, talking to some of the animals that had been attacking you all this time, basically, hey, going and petting with them and playing with them. That was basically an interesting perspective shift, if you will.
There's a part here where you can play with one of the dogs, like a ball.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys knew this. It's fucking hilarious. If you take the ball and you throw it over the fence, the dog would just stand there waiting for it forever.
Yeah.
It would just
Poor
the
dog.
fence. It's just like ball. Where'd the ball go? And I'm just like, it's gone. The video game code gods have it now. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. You're just going out for a run, right? Just to look for. Was there a reason you guys? There had to have been a reason that you eventually take on.
They mentioned the stuff with the scars have been going on, which we kind of picked up on before, that they were having a bunch of issues with the scars.
Yeah, there's issues with the scars. There's some mysterious person taking them out. They're going on a base to do some, I don't know, basically replace people that are already there, something like that. I don't exactly remember, but they get on their jeeps to go out.
You're sent out with a crew.
Oh my God, they're attacked by scars. Oh, and you're also hanging out with the pregnant lady.
Oh my God, it's you. You're not dead yet.
This is pre-dead.
Pre-death.
Pre-dead.
All right,
Day one all over again.
Well, I'm glad you explained, Spencer, because I was really confused. I was like, how is she back alive? I just have no concept of time.
It's going to be in the 4th chapter when they summon the Necronomicon and people back.
I don't want to go too far off subject, but did you guys ever hear the story of the canceled Spider-Man 4?
No.
One of the plot points, and I think it's just fucking nuts, was going to be a serum that would bring Spider-Man's would bring Uncle Ben back to life.
God.
I'm like,
why?
I was like, oh my God, that's a terrible plot point. I was like, hey, you remember the point of the first 3 movies and Spider-Man's motivation for being a hero? Never mind.
Let's just erase that. It'll probably save the city.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to bring up that weird Spider-Man 4 trivia.
So you get attacked, but while you're talking to her, you realize that she's pregnant with obviously the
Baby.
dude
Little
that you're kind of into his baby.
His baby. His name's Owen.
Owen, there you go.
And her name's pregnant.
Her name is She Should Wear Makeup. And then you're
Wow. Dude, in a time like this, I don't think she really cares.
That's true.
You can get all purdied up.
She's
to go.
she's the poutiest pregnant lady of all time.
You don't like pouty pregnant ladies?
No.
Okay.
But your convoy, whatever, gets attacked, and you're left by Seraphites, and you're left to make your way to the next base on foot.
We got a great big convoy trucking through the night. Remember that song?
And I like that when you're doing this, you go to Costco. You go to like some huge warehouse store, which is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to like climb up on the shelves and stuff, which is like something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. Like I think we've all wanted to climb up on the shelves at a like
100%.
department store. Yeah. So my dreams have been fulfilled. How do you not like this game, everybody?
After a pretty tense scene at a gas station, you are rescued and end up at the forward base, which is
not backwards.
continuing, which is another base, possibly more militaristic, and you get to meet an important character and learn some important things. What's the name of that character? He's like the general there.
Isaac.
Isaac. Yeah.
And I remember that because of The Binding of Isaac, one of my favorite games. So,
and he's talking to he's got like a hostage that they torture, and we find out that Owen has turned on the group.
That's poopy. Why did he do that?
He's
Owen?
a poopy guy.
Owen's the guy from the very beginning.
Yeah, and he shot one of the comrades and is out in the wild.
Where did he go?
Kind of like what, Colonel Kurtz? Is that what his name was?
Yeah.
In the Apocalypse Now?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gone rogue.
I love the smell of mussels in the morning. That's what Abby says.
Speaking of flashbacks?
Flashback.
Hope you like water.
Oh my god, this is one of my favorite. This is where I found out one of my favorite parts. I think they brought it up during the Costco area too, but hey, Abby's afraid of heights, and
Just like me. Yep.
Oh, you got that fear?
Yeah, man. Like I felt her pain.
Amon and Abby,
Yeah.
one and the same.
Yep.
Both muscle bound, both afraid of heights.
Muscle covering all that fat. Other way around, of course.
Yeah, it's they're kind of hanging out. They're just having fun. Clearly, they're close to each other. Her and Owen, they're on one of the. They're on the Ferris wheel, and eventually just jump off.
Well, Owen jumps the freak her out, and then she's like, "Oh my god, is he? I have to go help him." And then she jumps into the water, and he's like, "Ha, you did it!
Yeah,
You jumped into the water." And she's like, "You're a fucking asshole."
and then they go to the aquarium.
I know this place.
Yeah, good. Only good things happen here.
It's like that thing from earlier that we found out. It's a fish. What would they call it? A fish zoo.
Fish zoo. There you go.
I love that name, fish zoo.
And I think it's kind of cool because you get to see that another family has found it and has kind of taken over as like their little house. But it's kind of depressing, obviously, because it doesn't work out. Never seems to.
Yeah, you found like where the little boy had like a room and stuff, and it was all sad. Whatever.
Yeah, this game does a lot of that. Have their notes and stuff for families that are gone or no longer there. Kind of get basically a time capsule of what went on till their death.
Which the first game had that too.
Yeah.
We mentioned that, especially with Bill's Town in the first game. So,
Whose town?
Billstown.
All right. From here, it's back to real life.
Whoa! Wait, that was a dream.
That was that was flashback.
Back to present time, you mean?
Yeah, now we're back to the present. And
Even though this itself is a flashback compared to where Ellie's at, but okay.
that's true. Wow, we're in a flashback.
Flashception.
That's very interesting. It's actually not wrong. Now you're going through a lot of places with a lot of Seraphites, so you're kind of just it's you against the Seraphites now, and you go through some office buildings, just general building nonsense that that Last of Us is great at. Anything particular you want to talk about here?
I want to talk about this is where I really noticed that Abby and Ellie have very different gameplay styles
And weapons as
and
well.
weapons.
Yep.
Just like how they look, Ellie's thin and she can sneak around and she's quiet, and Abby don't give a fuck.
No.
Abby's muscle bound and she's gonna fuck you up, man.
Yeah, she's much stronger, and like with her slamming people's heads in the ground and everything.
Yeah, she's all about like she's. I mean, you can definitely still pull off stealth as Abby, but like it's not her forte. She's going in guns blazing.
Yeah,
which I think is a fun take, having the two different dynamics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of fun takes, you ready to go back to the aquarium?
Yay!
They have a little bit of fun with a toy bow.
Whoa, the bow. You beat Owen at his own game.
Not me. I came close, but I didn't.
Oh,
Oh, you did?
No.
I got it.
I got it too. I'm sorry, Amon. This is where we have to leave you behind.
I know. I feel sad.
There can only be one last of them.
Eject him from the map out.
And you also get to see them having sex.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
Wait,
Owen
is this
and
the part I was
Abby.
thinking of? Is this the
Is
nude
that the part you're thinking of? You have to tell me. I don't...
Is it the nude part?
Yeah.
Of all the okay, look, I don't want to come off insensitive. I think having a muscular body is great, and I think she's doing well for herself. But damn it, of all the titties they could have shown, these are the ones. Oh my god!
Who in this game? I guess Dina is considered the most attractive, right?
I don't know. I don't want to get into that.
Oh, okay.
I get a dumb joke about but you do get to see some breasts. The first Button Mapper's first breast shot. No, wait, was there breasts in The Witcher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn
yeah.
Damn it! I
There's
wasn't
a
thinking
lot.
about that.
Some
Well,
are
hopefully
already
they-
dead.
Hopefully they were better than what we got here.
They
So,
were.
So.
They were. Would you
Okay.
believe it?
Come on, eye dog, be a little eye candy.
So you're getting this build up where you're constantly showing the relationship Abby has with Owen, because she needs to find him obviously and figure
Yeah.
out what's going on.
Yeah, why did he do what he did? Why he do that?
Why you do that?
That's what she says. Why he do that? I don't know. Again, the dialogue in this game isn't very good.
It's more going through. This one's called the Forest. It's just going through these areas
This area is very important.
with Abby, and that's when eventually you will find our new important character.
Well, you get captured. We should say that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You get caught, and the Seraphites are gonna fucking hang you.
Yeah, this was part of the E3 trailer that they showed as well when they announced The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, I remember I was saw this part, and I was like, it was like in the recesses of my brain, and I was like, oh my god, I've seen this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So obviously they spoiled me because I knew Abby was going to be okay. I mean, I knew that whenever she was in the future with Ellie, but
Yeah.
time travel's weird. Anyway, so the Seraphites are going to hang Abby, but all of a sudden, what happens?
Pew, pew. Or like,
Yeah, and then another girl's brought out, and they say clip her wings, and they break her fucking arm.
oh,
Yeah,
Oof.
that was hard to watch.
Yeah, they break her arm, and you're like, oh my god! And then some arrows fly out of nowhere, pew, 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 where then they start attacking this other guy, and it's this other guy. He's there to save a broken arm girl. You're like, whoa! And they help you down too.
yeah.
Which at this point, Abby's like dangling for her life. She's
She's strangled.
yeah. She's like, oh, they cut her down and stuff. So
And I think from this point forward, she has like the mark on her neck, right?
yeah.
That's kind of
So this is a fun moment because the one guy that has the bow, we don't know what their deal is yet, but he goes, the demons are coming, and you're like, oh, I love Doom. You get a shotgun. I'm just kidding. No, but so you have to escape an area with a bunch of infected.
yeah. Some good scenes here.
Like,
Some tense scenes of escaping with like that, with the
Yeah.
getting caught in that building when like the infected are just pouring in.
yeah,
Died a couple times on that one, but it was awesome. Like hopping through like from window to window is really cool.
Yeah.
oh yeah, it is. That is a very cool part, and I don't know, and then it's also very tense because you know that the one girl. I expected the one girl with the broken arm would just die. And should we just go ahead and say their names so I can stop saying that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the one that they broke her arm, her name is Yara, right? And
Yep.
then the other guy is Lev.
Yeah.
Yara and Lev, and they're gonna be here forever.
Yep, you find a place for Yara, and it's like this little trailer, and you got to get supplies for her, but she's probably gonna be okay. It's all like her arm is like crazy red.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna be okay. So Abby's like, oh shit, we should probably take care of your arm. So she like makes it like a homemade like stent, right? Is that what it's called? Is that what it is?
Splint or
Flint, sorry.
yeah, it's pretty makeshift, but it's apparently gonna work out. And then I guess, and then you leave, but you come back.
Well, you leave and then you meet up with some other guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh shit, you know what? Like, they saved me, and I just kind of left them there.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about this part is I never really thought to do it, but you can like just run through some of these segments, and you'll be okay. At least on medium.
Yeah.
I was getting worried about it, and then I was like, oh, I just have to go up there, and I said, I wonder if I just run for it, and I totally did, and it worked. So it was kind of cool.
No platinum trophy for you.
Spencer, some would say you had to go fast.
Yeah, I made like Sonic and cowered it out.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So you go back to get them, right?
Yeah.
And you take some. You take some. Wait. Do you take some supplies then, or no? You just. I forget what happens with this part.
I'm a little bit hazy on this one.
Yeah. It's because I just played this too.
Yeah, I think her arm is she can't feel it or something, Yara, and then they're like, okay, we have a medical person that needs to look at it.
Oh,
or
that's
something.
right. Yeah. So they amputate,
Yeah.
and then they replace it with a chainsaw, and Yara becomes the most badass character in the game.
Excellent.
So I can't wait for Last of Us 3. Yara Chainsaw Massacre. It's gonna be a totally different game.
Being developed by Platinum Games, of course.
Platinum Games. Yeah. Could you imagine? Come at me, infected. Man, this series really went off the rails, didn't it?
And then you
So-
return to the aquarium? Is that what happened?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
okay, so you find Owen, and then before that, right? You find Owen and the other girl before you went back and got them. Am I wrong on that?
Do you? You do, right? Yeah. I
Yeah,
think you
yeah,
do.
because the pregnant lady's the one that does the thing.
Right. You're
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then so you bring him. So you bring Yara and Lev back, and then they amputate, and then they're like, okay, cool. And Owen's like, I have this boat, and I'm gonna go to a different place. I forget where they're going, but I'm gonna go. Was it California, right? It's like,
Yeah,
it's like
Santa Barbara or something.
Santa Barbara. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I should know that. And then they're like, we're gonna go here because guess what? I heard rumblings of the Fireflies still being around, which is something we didn't bring up, but Owen and Abby used to be Fireflies.
We kind of brought it up because they were the doctor.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, so they used to be Fireflies, and Owen is still holding out to find the Fireflies. So he says, "Oh, you can go with us." And she's, you're talking to Lev and Yara, and you find out that the pregnant chick knows about you and Owen, and she's like, "They can go with us, but you can't." And she's like, "Oh, okay, whatever."
And thus ends day 2 or day 1. Sorry.
Yeah, DOS ends day 1.
All right, on to day 2.
Get back here, Lev. That's the subtitle for day. Day 3, right? Yeah.
2.
What we just?
That was
Oh,
all day 1. It's a
Oh
long
no!
day.
What is this one then? Is this still the same thing I was talking about?
I'm trying to figure
Yeah,
that
I
out.
think this is when they actually go out on a mission to get medicine
Oh,
for
that's where
Yara's
they get
arm.
the stuff for her arm. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is where they're
I
going through a bunch
totally-
of high,
Oh my-
tall buildings.
I totally forgot. Oh yeah. I totally forgot this part even existed.
Yeah,
Which is a shame because that's like the skyrise parts of it.
yeah,
They're like-
Yeah. Very cool.
Really,
really. Cool.
neat. And it's cool because like this is where you get to see that they've been building, like they've got people building stuff, architecture over existing architecture to help them.
Makeshift
kinda-
bridges and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of weird though. Like I guess they do it so that the infected can't come up there, but they really go
Well-
through some risks just to live that high up there.
And this is like I'm glad you brought that up, Amon, because like I totally forgot about this, but yeah, this is a part that I like because you get a little bit of story between, well, not story, but like some time with Abby and Lev,
Yeah,
and which if you were paying attention, Lev was the kid with Abby in the theater.
yep.
So you're like, oh, okay, that's who that guy is. So you get a little bit of like bonding time with those two.
Mm-hmm.
So and you
And
know,
kind of an understanding for both groups. What both groups,
Yeah.
because they're from opposite groups, so you kind of understand what they think about
Yeah,
them, and
we didn't bring this up, but Lev and Yara used to be Seraphites.
Yeah.
And you find out through dialogue that Abby thinks that their way of living is odd and strange and doesn't make any sense, and they worship somebody they shouldn't be worshiping, like this idol, right?
Yeah.
So, but Lev is like showing, trying to show her some of how he lives, and his ideals, and I kind of liked that, It was cool, and there's also, we'll get into it, but I liked, I would like at this point, all we knew about the Seraphites were like they were just this other real like military group, and we know that like they had this female idol.
Yeah.
That's all we knew. So now we're really like learning about their culture through this kid, and I was like, oh, they're not at what I expected. So neat.
Love also reveals that he's transgender,
and
Was a
I
girl,
feel-
and they didn't really treat him like how he.
I haven't heard anybody bring this up. That's not a controversial thing now, is it really?
What?
Like the bringing a transgender character into the game, like
I don't think that's what anybody complained about.
yeah, I
It's
don't
certainly
think
it's certainly a hot button issue now, but I don't think it handled it fine. I don't think there's any problem.
I don't really. I haven't heard anybody really like. I heard people just mainly talk about like the story for their grievances and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
haven't heard a lot of people really mention like Lev in particular, and I think that's awesome because like Naughty Dog got away with this. You know, it doesn't feel too heavy handed. I don't think.
I think there was just a general complaint about being introduced to transgender and lesbian and all that stuff in the game, where I guess the main focus is like zombies and apocalypse and all that
Well,
stuff, and they were pushing. I don't disagree with the issue, but then you can see like certain places in the Seattle building had the flags, LGBT flags on them and stuff like that.
I
I
could
think
see
people were a little upset at that.
I could see the argument of pandering a bit, but I don't think it's off-putting. And I like, well, like we said before, the whole Ellie being a lesbian thing was brought up in the first game, through
Yeah.
the DLC. So it's not like that hasn't been a part of the series, but the transgender thing's new. So, yeah, I don't know. I still don't see it being that jarring.
No.
You know.
Oh yeah, not for me. I mean, I was like,
If anything, I think it's the same way. And this is something I'm very pro whatever. Like do whatever makes you happy. My sister's a lesbian, and I'm totally cool with that. And this is just coming from me personally. I'm not, like you guys don't really have to express your feelings, but I'm very open with them. I'm pro. Live your life however you want to live it. But I'm very much against businesses using that as bait. Take for example Chick-fil-A recently, which I don't want this podcast to turn into this, but I'm just talking about it for like a quick second. They're very openly like Christian, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But they last year during Pride, they were very much like promoting like, oh, come to Chick-fil-A, we love you, and there's like a gay stuff. And I was like, you guys are very clearly against this, and you're only doing this to get money from these people. So I could see that being an issue of like trying to pander just to get that audience,
Yeah, it could seem like something they just threw in there because they're like, we need people to talk about it in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's something I don't like. But again, I don't think story wise it bothers anything.
Yeah, that's the important part. Is I think it's possible that they did that. You can't really tell. No, you'll never know for sure, but it's possible they did it. But I think if it is, they did it in a way that didn't ruin the story. So
Yeah,
I think in Naughty Dog's defense, if you are going to show a cult that is very, religious, conservative, you are going to show them being offended by somebody like a transgender or something like that.
yeah, and you're right, and that could have been where this branched off of. I hope it's just not them trying to get some sort of audience or get a rise out of the community and stuff, because that would just be like I'm totally against pandering like that.
Yeah.
Like I think if it comes naturally, it comes naturally, but don't try to just like sell your game as like it's the gay game. Like that comes off a little heavy-handed, but I don't think they did that.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
but this leads to, I mean, so yeah, we talked about the high rises and going up in the buildings, and I loved seeing the downtown area of Seattle just covered in water. And just kind of navigating that way. But your search for the medicine leads you to the coolest boss fight, maybe in a long time,
Yes.
where you
First
enter Ground Zero.
first try.
Not me. I was like 16.
First try. My sister was watching me, and by this point, because she was so obsessed with this game, and I was taking a while to play through it, I was kind of like just like pacing myself. So I was like play it for a few days and then take a little bit of a break. And she played it like she beat it like 3 times at this point before me.
Oh, wow.
So because she just played while I'm at work and stuff, and she was like, "Oh, you're gonna love this part." So the rat, well, if we should say his name, the Rat King, right?
Yeah.
He shows up and I'm fighting this guy, and she's like, good luck. And I beat him on my first try. And she was like, what the hell? And I was like, yeah, pro gamer.
Damn.
Yeah, it was really cool. What I liked about this boss battle was basically when you go and encounter him is you actually have to use pretty much all of the things in your arsenal to beat him. Plus, you have to kind of run around and use all kinds of tricks in the book, basically. It was definitely challenging for me, personally.
Yeah. It took me like 16 tries. It was pretty brutal.
Get good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also really bad, and my ammo is not very high, so that didn't help with this fight. Luckily, they have it like stored around the environment.
Yeah.
But man, it's freaking cool. It's like a bunch of different. So we didn't really talk about it much before, but in like, they kind of hint that this could happen because they have little pockets on the side, on like walls, where infected can just be growing within them and then just jump out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been a thing for a while in this game. But then this one is like an amalgamation of like 10 of the infected just kind of molded together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was a very cool, fresh idea because I was like, how many new types could they bring in without this feeling like Left 4 Dead?
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't know it, but Rat King is a term. It's like a medical term where rats get their tails stuck together and then end up just being together.
I didn't know that. I thought he was just king of the rats.
Yeah.
The Rat King. It's like it's the Shovel Knight boss. I never thought I would fight Rat King.
So definitely a highlight of the game. I mean, this eschews all politics. It's a freaking awesome moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very, very cool boss fight. It's very intense. While I did beat him my first try, I still like felt the intensity of this fight.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like I was just like whatever, like I still
headshot.
Yeah, I still had to scramble and fight. I was just lucky I didn't die, because like you even like take him out and then like I guess like the main one breaks free, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you have to take him out.
Yep.
So it's like he got out of a mech made out of zombies.
And then after you do this, you have the medicine. It's time to return to the aquarium.
This is where you cut off her arm and get a chainsaw. Okay, so I want to tell you guys a story. I was playing this game for the longest time, and I was talking to I was keeping up with Spencer as we were both playing, and like there was a point where I stopped playing for a bit, and I was like Spencer was like, where you at now? And I was like, the same spot I was last week. I just didn't play any. Well, I knew we were doing this map out, so there was one night where I got home from work and I had to stay up till 5 a.m. for the next day's shift because I had to work a late shift. So I just sat down and I played the rest of this game in like a good 7 hours sitting or like something like that. I was just like I just ran through it and that takes Spencer. I was like, I did it. So yeah, so like that's I think that's why a lot of Abby's story moving on is kind of foggy for me because I just did a lot of it at once.
Okay.
I just want to talk about that because I didn't think about that because like I remember a lot of Ellie's stuff very vividly, but I played her stuff like I paced myself,
Yeah.
And then the later half of the game, I just went. So.
Okay. Well, when you return to the aquarium, is this the part
I've come back
where we sort of not meet up with Ellie, but meet up with Ellie's actions?
No.
That happens later?
Yeah, we're not there yet. This is where Lev goes to the
Rogue.
island.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where they're all happy and we're about to leave and then go find the fireflies and Yara's like, Lev took a boat and went to the Seraphites Island and you're like, oh my god. So Lev went and Yara kind of tells you that he wants to go talk to his mother because his mother was not accepting of who he was and he kind of wants to reconcile. So Yeah, so Yara's like, this is bad. So Abby agrees to go with Yara and go save him. So we get to go to the Seraphites Island, something I didn't see coming, and something that I welcomed with open arms.
It was really cool, actually. Yeah, that whole sequence.
So the Seraphites, guys, what were your expectations before you actually went to the island? Like, what did you think they were like?
Yeah, I thought they were a cult group, which is what they were. I mean, they were pretty much a cult group that basically kind of fell back towards the conservative traditions and, unaccepting of things that fall out of the norm, I guess. So
And
they were.
sorry, go ahead.
No, that's pretty much it. That's what I was going to say.
Well, and we've kind of known them as these scary hunters, right?
Yeah,
Stuff. So they're kind of terrifying from from like all the enemies we fought. They've been like the deadliest. And then you go to their island, right? And they're like the most civilized people we've met so far. Their island is very nice.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not at all what I was expecting from this place.
yeah, they're very organized too. They have rituals where the guys shave their heads and stuff like that. So everybody's kind of in sync.
Well, and they built their own homes. They have like farmland and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they're like even more than I would say Jackson. Like they have their shit together.
I don't know. I think Jackson was number one.
Why?
They had like, all the electricity, and they had like.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the Seraphites are like anti-electricity and anti-old world, right?
Yeah.
So
If I had my druthers, I'd pick the Jackson one. They had
Yeah,
a big
probably
bar.
the better looking women too, I guess, than the
Yeah,
rest of the
bunch
places.
of Dinas.
I don't know. I like me a good farm gal working out in the field.
So then this is the part where like everything eventually gets on fire.
Eventually, first you sneak through
Yeah.
the different camps and stuff to go find Lev, and whenever you find Lev, what has happened?
He has accidentally killed his mother.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think something, I don't know what happened here. I think something else happened here, but he's very distraught. And, he says that it was an accident and didn't mean to and stuff. She hit her head, but I don't know. Part of me feels like maybe that wasn't the case. Maybe Lev acted out,
Yeah, well, I mean, he wasn't accepted, so he was hoping that she would accept him for who he was, and that didn't happen.
So I have a feeling that, and I have, and I don't know, maybe because I mean I don't want to spoil anything, but they've already announced the third game, so, and hopefully it's the last one, because I do not want to be beyond 3. I have a feeling that they might bring this up if they ever bring back this character. That
Flashback.
Yeah, flashback. Maybe it was more of an act of violence on his part or something, but I don't know. I don't know why I had that feeling. I just got that feeling when I saw this part. So.
Well, they're getting attacked. The Seraphites. Is it by the wolves?
Yeah, by the wolves. Yeah, the wolves have planned this big old attack on the island, and you're just happened to be there that night.
And this is kind of interesting because you've pretty much gone rogue as well. You kind of siding with Owen has not boded well, and they pretty much see you as the enemy as well.
Yeah, plus you're helping Seraphites, so
yeah, you meet up with Isaac. Does not go well. Eventually, in that confrontation, Yara is killed.
Do you like Swiss cheese?
What's that?
So, do you like Swiss cheese? Because Yara sure does. That's what she becomes.
All them holes.
All them holes. Oh, and we skipped something too.
What's up?
On the way into the island, we met a sniper.
Oh shoot! Yeah, good call. But there's no snipers that I know of.
Who do we know that's really good with a sniper rifle?
Maybe somebody that trains Ellie. Maybe.
Oh, Yeah. Oh, Dina. I'm just kidding. It's time. Yeah. So Yara and Ellie come across. It's not Ellie. Fuck. Abby come
Abby.
across Tommy sniping at them, and you have to kind of go cover to cover, and
Yeah.
you meet up with them, and you throw them into the water.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, once again, the game throwing so many perspectives at you. You know, what Tommy is doing, how that's
Yeah.
affecting the environment, Abby, Ellie, everybody. That's really, really cool.
So yeah, okay, let's go back to the part we're at. Oh shit, the Yara's dead and the wolves are attacking. What do we do?
This definitely feels like end of the game content here.
Oh yeah, I thought this was it.
Yeah, this just certainly feels like it. You had a big fight with a dude at the while the whole island is burning down. He's pretty tough.
The island's burning and you're escaping on a horse and you're like riding through all these areas and stuff, and you have to like, it's all very fast paced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Abby loses her backpack with all her stuff in it. So you have to fight this big old guy with an axe or whatever it was, hand to hand, which was kind of awesome. like CQC. So
CQC.
CQC. Metal Gear Solid. So.
Yeah, but you make it, because it's a video game.
Yep. And you and Lev escape on a boat while Lev's home burns.
Yep.
What a day.
Back to the aquarium.
Good thing we're getting back to the aquarium. We're gonna find Owen and Prego, and we're gonna head on out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you walk in, and you're like, "Oh, what the fuck?
Oh my God, Owen and Prego.
They've been shot by who?" And then, oh, stupid Ellie, she left her map there.
Yep.
Good thing it has their home base circled.
Yeah.
Right. We're here.
Gonna be here for a while.
And then this is kind of where the two stories cross back over again. Abby and Lev break into the theater and have the confrontation with the rest of the gang.
Yep.
So now what happens?
You switch back into control of Ellie once the fight. Well, you infiltrate with Abby.
Yeah.
Familiar cutscene plays. You switch back into control of Ellie, and get in a fight with Abby.
How many people? Like, how many of you thought this was the last fight?
Oh, total. I mean, I thought the part before it was the end. This part, yeah, I thought this was it. I was like, well, this surely has to be it.
I was like, yeah, I don't want to be the one killing Ellie. So I was like, oh, man.
So yeah, they get into a scrap, and there's a few areas where you have to kind of like make your way through the thing. And you don't play as no, you don't play as Ellie here. You play as Abby.
Yeah, you're
okay,
trying to go
bad.
after Ellie. Yeah.
And this was kind of this part was hard for me to play through too, because and I think that's kind of the point too, is because you have to hunt down Ellie, who we know is really good at being stealthy,
Yeah.
and beat the shit out of her.
Yeah. It has kind of a. It almost got like comical when she was like banging Ellie's face on the ground, and then switched over to Dina and started banging her face on the ground.
Yeah. So yeah, Abby obviously has physical advantage over Ellie and stuff. So they get to a scrap, and Abby comes out on top and beats the shit out of both of them. Oh my god, Ellie's just all crying. She's like gargling on blood and stuff, and Abby's about to slit Dina's throat, and Ellie says, "Don't. She's pregnant." And then Abby says, "Good." And she goes to do it, and Lev's like, "Abby, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that, man." So she doesn't do it, and then she says, "I don't want to see you guys ever again."
The end.
The end. That's the end of the game.
No, this is the game that never ends. It's the Return of the King.
It's the game that never ends. So Dina and Ellie are just laying there, fucking. Oh my god, they're battered. And then it cuts, and where are we now?
The farm.
The farm. What farm?
Ellie and Dina's farm.
Yeah, Ellie and Dina have moved on past this, and they've got like a little farmland, and you have a little thing. Ellie had not Ellie. Dina had a baby, a little guy. You could definitely tell it was Jesse's baby. So they have a little baby, and they're taking care of the baby, and you kind of do some menial tasks around the farm. It's like herd some sheep and go get a stuffed animal and stuff.
Yeah. Too bad Ellie's got a little PTSD.
Oh yeah, one of the was like the wind picks up, right, or something like that, and it's like something happens in the barn, and she freaks out and has like visions of Joel's face getting smashed in.
Yeah.
Joel's dead. Remember that? I remember that. Okay. So yeah, from then they get a nice visitor. It's a fun family reunion. Tommy shows up.
Yep.
He's like, "Hey, gang, how's it going? This is gonna be a nice peaceful ending." They're like, "Well, we've moved on, and so this is all nice." And Tommy's like, "I know where they're at. I know where Abby had went. They're in California. I heard rumors of her, some muscle bound lady and some kid with a bow." And there's no way it's not them. And then Dina and Ellie are like, we're done with that. We're finished. And then they kick Tommy out. And that's the end of the game.
Another false ending.
Damn it! This is worse than DK Country.
Yeah, Tommy is in. By the way, Tommy at this point is in no condition to go after Abby himself. He's like,
yeah, he's wounded,
all busted, wounded, and can't really walk and stuff.
Abby did a number on him. So, yeah. So the next night, you see Ellie gets up out of bed in the middle of the night, and she goes and gets her bag that she's packed, and Dina stops her, and it's kind of like Dina's kind of gives her the option. It's like either this or or us. And Ellie's like, I have to go do this. What were your guys' thoughts at the part at like this point of the game where you're like, what is her motivations?
I understood it. I mean, I know some people would call it extreme, but I thought if you're seeing the person that you cared about so much, which obviously you wanted to say a lot of stuff to him, but you didn't throughout the flashbacks and stuff that were going on. So I understand her just can't getting past that, after seeing that brutal beatdown. So I kind of understood it.
I like to imagine if I was brutally beat down, Spencer would go on this rampage.
You know it. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, it kind of ties in with the end of The Last of Us, the first one. Something very extreme that you wouldn't really expect, but these characters are just put through so much that it's kind of thematic about what's going on. So,
well, if you remember, I don't know if you remember Joel's song that he wrote, but the lyrics were, "If I ever were to lose you, I would lose myself." And that's very much the theme.
Yep. Pretty much.
Spence, where are we going next?
Santa Barbara.
Woo woo.
And we're playing as Abby.
Constants. Sorry. 2425 Constants.
Yeah, we're playing as Abby, and she's told that the Fireflies are at a location, a house, and it's 2425 Constance. So you kind of explore around. You find, behind a bookshelf, secret entrance.
I liked seeing this area, by the way, in Santa Barbara.
Complete change in scenery, yeah.
Yeah, I like seeing the streets and kind of, I was like, man, this game got a lot of varied environments too. Kind of like the first game, but just, if we didn't spend so much time in damn Seattle. But, yeah, you find a hidden bookcase and you go down and you find where the Fireflies, where they set up camp and stuff, and you find a radio, and Abby's like, yo, who dare? And who's there? Yeah. They're like, Abby, we're here. We're staying at this place. Everything's gonna be okay. Abby's like, heck yeah, this is awesome. So, and we all know if you played, The Last of Us, like things that are happy don't last too long.
No. They walk outside, and they're attacked by like 4 or 5 dudes, and that's it. Well, it's it for them for a while. We're not going to see them because now we're back with Ellie.
Ellie. She's at a beach.
Looks nice.
She's found a boat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's that boat from the place, from the aquarium, right?
Is it the same boat?
I don't know if it is or not. I like to think it is.
I guess we could assume it is.
Yeah, I mean, we assume that's what she did, was leave on the boat to look for the fireflies
Yeah.
with Lev.
She's back to doing her old Ellie stuff. She's maneuvering through some amazing houses, specifically one. Wouldn't mind owning that house. And she gets caught in a trap set by the same guys.
This is silly.
And unfortunately, when she's hanging, she swings into a branch that's broken off and cuts her side. Gets a little stab.
Oh. Well, you get to meet these nice fellas
Yeah.
Again.
again, and Ellie kind of tricks them, right?
Yeah.
What exactly does she do here? Something about being infected. She tricks him. She uses her immunity in some fashion. No. Because she's next to a infected that's trapped, right? And she like uses that to like get him off, to like get her out or something. I forget what she does. She like pushes it onto a guy, right? Something like that.
I don't remember, but obviously she got out of it. I don't remember exactly what she did.
She miraculously escaped.
It was something to do with infected, though.
Yeah, I know there was 2 guys. I know that she used an infected to get one guy, and then she got down and took the other guy and got his gun and stuff, and held him at gunpoint. And he was like, "You were talking about an Abby, right? We know where an Abby is. We have her at our camp. She's a prisoner."
And then she killed him.
Yeah, and it's just like, good. So you find out that these guys have been catching people and putting them in a camp. We don't really know much about these guys. What are their names? They have names.
Scorpions or
The
something?
Rattlers.
Rattlers, yeah.
Rattlers. There we go.
I know it was some
Scorpions.
close enough.
Rock you like a hurricane. Here I am.
And you got to maneuver your way through a resort, which this was probably one of the harder points of the game for me.
Did this area remind you of going through the hospital? Any? And one?
Maybe. Not really. No, because it wasn't like it was rushed.
That's true.
Until
yeah.
I mean, obviously at a certain point it is, but the whole scene for me was rushed with the Last of Us one.
I was kind of drawing connections with this part because I was like, in the first game you had to go through this heavily armed area to rescue Ellie, and this you're going through a heavily armed area to rescue Abby. It's like kind of like a flip on this script. It's like like you're like the first game you're rescuing somebody you love dearly. This game you're rescuing your mortal enemy.
Well, I guess eventually you will rescue her, right?
Yeah, but that's your goal is to get. Like Ellie even says, I need to get to her before these idiots do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not necessarily to rescue her.
No, but in a sense it is, but not for the reasons you would usually rescue somebody.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't just rescue somebody to kill. Yeah, I want to kill them, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're heavily armed. They have infected chained up, which is a very interesting gameplay mechanic, where you can like undo the infected and let them run around the camp and stuff.
Yeah, that really helped me out in that environment quite a bit.
You also get that machine gun that I mentioned earlier. You have that. So now Ellie has gone from being a stealthy girl to a fucking badass. She's going. there was a part in this area where I hunkered down in this room. I found this room that was just like two ways to enter, and then like a bunch of desks and stuff. And I hunkered down and I set a bunch of traps, and then I kept drawing everybody in there, and I was like, "You're all coming to me." I was like, "I'm not coming to you. You're all coming to me." And I like killed everybody that way.
I ran out of ammo in this part.
Oh,
I think I had like one bow and arrow thing, and I hit somebody with it, and just had to run to their body and pick up whatever ammo was there and switch guns. It was bad. This is hard for me. But it was-
how was your area?
Yeah, I usually basically what I did is I made it up to the top of the area, the top of the story of the building,
Yeah.
and was shooting people, whoever was trying to come up top.
Okay.
You guys are pros. I'm a little...
MLG pro gamers, dude.
I didn't say how many times it took me. It took me forever to do it, but
It is a very tough part. I did die a couple times here too before I figured out my strategy. So.
And yeah, you learn that Abby and what's his name again? Lev are in the back
On the beach, yeah,
hanging out.
Yeah, when you open the prison and stuff, you ask where Abby is, and they said that Abby tried to escape previously, so she's out on the beach.
yeah. So you learn about this group that they're a bunch of slavers, and they have captives, and once you release the captives, they're the ones who tell you, "Hey, Abby is one of the ones that was trying to escape, and she's been punished or whatever."
Yeah. So you're like, okay, well, let's go find Abby.
And yep, out on the beach, a bunch of people are just kind of hanging there from like large rods, and there she is, she and Lev.
There she blows.
They're both still alive, which is miraculous.
She looks a little malnourished.
She's a lot thinner.
Yeah.
And you cut them down, and they all say, "I know how to get out of here." And you follow each other to a couple boats, and doesn't quite end there, although it kind of does. But obviously, there's one big part.
I thought this was gonna be it. I thought they were just gonna, she was just gonna let him go because she was, saw that they were tortured for a while there at that camp and stuff. So, but Abby puts Lev in the boat and stuff, and Ellie's like, "I can't let you leave," and Abby's like, "I'm not gonna fight you." And then Ellie's like, "If you don't fight me, I'm gonna kill him." So Abby's like, "Okay, I'll fight you." So you have a fight. I was telling Spencer I had major Metal Gear Solid 4 flashbacks to this part. The part with the
final fight, yeah,
with Snake and Liquid on or whoever it was, Liquid, on the fucking submarine.
Yep.
I was like the whole time I was like CQC.
Although one was more 2D than the other, one was more 3D one, but yeah, the concept is the same.
Yeah. So yeah, you have a big scrap with Abby, and there's a lot of brutalness here, man.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, you have a knife and she doesn't.
Yeah, plus she's malnourished, so it's a fair fight now. It wasn't a fair fight in the theater. It's clear. Abby just fucking beat the shit out of her there.
Yeah.
So.
But you pretty much destroy her, except she does bite your finger off.
Two fingers.
Two fingers. Yep.
Delicious.
But other than that,
she's pretty hungry at this point, so I figured anything. So
she takes a minute to eat and then get back to the fight.
Wouldn't that be amazing if she just chewed him up? She was like, "Bring it."
I got my power back.
Her muscles just all come back.
Hey, if the clickers can do it, so can I.
No, well, you almost drown her and stuff, but for some reason, Ellie stops, and she says, "Just go."
Yep.
Just take him and go. And Ellie sits there in the water on the beach, just kind of sulking to herself.
Yeah, I think she realizes that Abby and Lev are in the same situation that she was in with Joel, so that's probably why she.
Yeah,
Does.
it's very apparent that's like
Yeah.
meant to mirror her and Joel, you know.
Yep.
So she sits there on the beach, just kind of like, I don't know what her emotions are at this point. You could tell she's very upset though. So.
No, it's her best day ever.
I mean, she traveled all this way to beat the shit out of Abby, and then she didn't even go through with it, you know. But I think she realized that she was just, you know, she was basically becoming what Joel was in the last of the, you know, the last part of the last game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what Joel did. So she realized she was just it was time to end it. So.
Yep.
Then we got what, like 2 more scenes after this? Is that right?
I have the one. Is there two?
Yeah, there's 2.
Okay.
So we go back to the farm.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything because that's what's there is nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, she goes back up to the room and tries to play the guitar, and of course,
Yeah, her fingers are gone, so she can't play.
Yeah.
Dina's gone. The kid's gone. They didn't leave her any notes or anything. They just left all her stuff in her room. So, yeah. So Dina, we don't know where Dina went. What's going on with that? But she's moved on. And you could tell Allie's like, damn. You know, I blew my chance at like a family. So she sits down with the guitar, and she can't even play the guitar anymore, which was like all throughout the game. They always had, you know, her play that little song and stuff, and that was like felt like one of her connections to Joel has been like severed, you know. And that's kind of like, I think that's really thematic with like how she, you know, she's not wanting to repeat the same mistakes that Joel made, you know. So I think it's a very nice thing. And then we got one more scene beyond this. Do you guys remember what that is?
No.
So, it's been talked about. Remember the beginning of the game, whenever we talked about how Ellie and Joel had gotten into some sort of argument and stuff, and something happened.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the last scene of the game,
when she finds out, or at the lodge.
yeah, they're talking at the
Yeah.
lodge about you know what happened, you know, because Ellie and Dina kiss, and the guy interrupts, and you know, is like, what the fuck, you know, this is a family event and stuff, and then Joel punches the guy out.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellie's upset about it and stuff. So they're talking after that point, and they're having this conversation and stuff. And you know, and Ellie's talking to him about everything, and you know, you could tell their relationship's strained, but they want to make it work and stuff. And the last words that they say to each other, which you find out the last words that they ever said to each other, is Ellie says, "I'll see you around." And Joe goes, "Yep." You know. I don't know why. Like, there's not much substance there for, you know, for like dialogue, but it's just like the way the scene's framed, it makes it very impactful for me. You know.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was more of, you know, Ellie not getting a chance to say whatever she wanted to say to Joe, and that's probably one of the reasons why she was so upset about the whole situation.
What really pushed her, I think, too, was like part of that, you know. So that was really impactful. You're like, oh my god, you know, she didn't even get to say anything to him. So yep, and that's The Last of Us 2.
There you go.
Oh my god, 2 hours and 33 minutes. Are we gonna beat the previous map outs?
No.
Oh, damn it.
No.
We'll need the DLC for that.
Yeah.
Yara's Chainsaw Massacre. So, with that said, thoughts, opinions?
A great game, in my opinion. An absolute must play. Don't listen to the haters out there. I mean, yeah, for me personally, mechanically, graphically, even story wise, the game was great. And Naughty Dog took chances that a lot of people would shy away from.
Spencer?
Yeah, I you know, if you have a problem with some of the politics of it or some of the story elements, you still have a phenomenal video game here. I don't know why you wouldn't play it. It's very fun, very solid. Story wise, I think it's fine, but I like the first one's story more. But the game itself is as solid as you could get. So you'd be an idiot not to at least try it.
Yeah, I agree. I like this game. I think mechanically it's fantastic. I think story wise it's good. It's not better than the first game though. And I guess now I'll bring it up. The flashbacks is my biggest hindrance with this game. The term "less is more" should have been used very heavily in this experience because there are so many flashbacks. There's almost like a flashback per chapter, right? Like
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah, and it's like the first game worked because it opens with Joel and Sarah dies, right? And you kind of get Joel's character beyond that, and then what his motivations are. And I feel like the first game, for example, would have been impacted negatively. I mean, especially we're like talking this, like about this earlier. If, for example, Joel walks by a swing set or something, and then he has a flashback of how he used to push his daughter on the swing set, and it's like we get it, we get it. We don't need all this like hand holding for the themes, and I feel like that's partially what a lot of this game did. I do feel like some of the flashbacks were necessary, but there's also a few that like are just there, I think, to like try to dig up some sort of emotion from you, and it kind of felt a little heavy-handed at points. So
I will say this about the flashbacks. Maybe for me it was different, but the reason why I liked them was because it was actually physically giving me a break from all the action sequences from before. So the game was doing a really good job of exploration. You have your peace moments of flashbacks, and then you have your really intense battles that were like, oh my God, I need a break. So it was kind of a natural way of giving you a break after those super intense, either zombie or person encounters.
well, and that's true, but I have a much different opinion, and I want to ask you this question. What would you have thought if you played the game opened, Joel died, and instead of seeing Joel in a flashback every chapter or something like that, the only time you got to see Joel again was the flashback at the end of the game where you find out that him and Ellie didn't really get to talk much, like before his death.
I mean, that
Like, I think that would have been more impactful because you went this whole game without seeing Joel again. It was kind of like Joel wasn't even gone because they kept bringing him up in the flashbacks. It was like I got to see Joel like every other chapter.
Yeah.
So it, like, to me, it would have been more impactful if they'd kept it like that and like you get to see Joel die.
But don't you think thematically that's kind of part of it, is that Joel is never really gone with her?
I guess, yes. But I don't know. I think it does kind of make the whole Joel being dead thing kind of.
To Amon's point, I like that they broke up the constant action of it by
That's
adding
true.
the flashbacks, because in the original Last of Us, there was like, it wasn't as tense because it's like, oh, we just got to get over there. So it wasn't like a revenge plot and doing all this stuff. It was just kind of like, well, we got to go over. We can take our time. We can, oh, there's a cool record CD. Did people listen to records back then? Yeah, they did. I used to listen to, yeah. Just have a little bit of fun with it. And this one didn't really have any of that, except for the flashbacks. Like, that was kind of that moment.
I guess you're right. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that type of storytelling to begin with. I think only a few movies and stuff are able to do that very well,
Yeah.
I
can see it from both sides.
But I'm definitely like, the game isn't like, I'm not that upset by the flashbacks that like I don't like the story, and like I don't even like, I do see the value of some of the flashbacks too. I think they could have been cut in half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep.
Anything else you guys want to bring up? We didn't really talk about. Do you guys want to talk about what happened with Ellie at all?
What do you mean? What happened with Ellie?
Like, what happened? She went through all this trouble just to let him go.
Yeah, I heard some, basically people talking about how they disliked Ellie's character and how they pretty much sided with Abby throughout the thing, and they were getting upset at Ellie towards the end for doing what she was doing at the beach. And I completely disagree with that. I think Ellie had every right to be upset based on the circumstances that were presented to her. Yes, I understand the other perspective, Abby's perspective, but I had no issues with what Ellie was doing or how her character was portrayed.
I think the game did a good job at making you your own worst enemy. Because you started as Ellie, and of course, at first you just despise Abby. But honestly, I think they did a good job of making you sympathize with Abby in a sense. And the fact that like you kill her friends, and then you later on Abby has to experience that, and you pretty much you killed your own friends, And it's kind of like I think that they did a good job at taking you as a player from the beginning, who you're very much on Ellie's side, and kind of like making you question yourself, making you question your own motives.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the lesson of the game in a sense. Like the theme is like, kind of like the first game, like was Joel the bad guy? Very much so. And this one, it's like is Ellie right to get her revenge? Is violence due to the answer? Blah 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 blah. And it's kind of like the answer is no.
Yeah, I think people not being happy with it is kind of the point.
Yeah, exactly. That's the message they were trying to get across, is that like sometimes revenge isn't the sweetest dish.
And that would be just like the first Last of Us. It's like, I didn't want him to do that. Well, of course you didn't want him to do that. Nobody wants him to do that, but that's the theme of the story.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do.
So, of course, it's supposed to be terrible because it is.
Yeah, and again, like I was alluding to towards the beginning, I think people have trouble accepting characters that are flawed.
Yeah. I think any criticism of this game comes from people, and I know that sounds bad, but I would wager most of them didn't finish the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of them. Because I avoided everything until I played it through all the way through myself, so I didn't watch any videos. But I think a lot of it just had to do with like the moment where you switch over to Abby. I think that's where people were like, "Oh no, I'm not doing this."
This is one of the first instances where they blocked Metacritic user reviews until 3 days.
Yeah,
because they realized people just start bombing it.
Yeah, they implemented that because of this game. I think.
Is it because I didn't want to say that, but is that this is the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the I don't know if it was Neil Druckmann himself, but one of the guys from Naughty Dog posted a thing on Twitter that said like it was very backhanded because when this game was getting bombed. He said, "Wow, this game got more user reviews than the first game in 7 years." Like a big fuck you to everybody that was just bombing the game.
Yeah.
And if you look at the numbers, it's actually true. I mean, they're astronomically high, the user reviews on there.
Yeah.
Mostly negative, but very, very high.
So that's
it's very clear to me that most of them didn't finish the game and didn't play it. Probably didn't buy it.
Yeah.
I heard negative reviews about the game before it came out. And by negative reviews, I just mean people saying, "Oh, I heard some insider news. This is going to be a terrible game." Like, okay. Why would you? Why are you doing that? Like, why do you care? That's so stupid.
Well, that's the thing too, is that like I understand like wanting to warn people, like, oh, the game's like mechanically broken. The game doesn't work. It's like I can't think of a good example. Fallout, whatever, 76 or whatever. It'd be like, don't buy it. It's it's shit. And people would be like, oh, okay, yeah. But just being like, don't buy it. The story, I don't like it. It's like, can we form our own opinion? Like the game's not even out yet.
Well, yeah, and it was clearly because of the story, because that was the controversy, is that the game got leaked.
Yeah,
and apparently it was accurate. I don't know what even the leak was.
Yeah,
but
people were mad about the way the story went, and I remember seeing that too about it. I was just avoiding everything.
Yeah, I was avoiding it too, and I really, it kind of makes me upset that the thing got leaked to begin with, because I think if this game had not been leaked, the shock and awe of people realizing for the first time what's going on, maybe it would have made them even play the game a little bit more before coming to these negative reviews and conclusions about the game.
Yeah, again, I think the people that were negative about it were going to be negative about it no matter what. There's a bunch of hate for it, possibly because of the orientations within it, but it's...
Well, I know that's a big part of it.
But like that, those people just... There's no chance they would have, quote unquote, liked it. As in, there's no chance they would have bought it and tried it and given it a chance. This game sold plenty well. I don't think any of that matters. It's just...
Oh, yeah.
those people are just being very vocal and loud and annoying.
Yeah, I mean, this game sold like crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
and I mean, that should tell you enough there that like a sequel to a story-driven game like this sold this well. You know,
Yep.
Yeah.
Naughty Dog's a master of their craft when it comes to this sort of thing. So, but again, I think Spencer's on the same page as me. It's not as good as the first game, and I feel like
How do you think it stacks up there, Amon?
I liked it better. But I will say I liked it, maybe not necessarily because of the story, but mechanically, without a doubt, it's better.
I agree totally.
Yeah.
I love the mechanics of this game.
So that's to me that's part of the gameplay overall. Yeah, the story, maybe the stronger one was a stronger story. You know, Joel was a great character for me. So to see him leave was a big disadvantage. But mechanically, even graphically, I would say this game was much stronger.
100%. Yeah. I think I would agree with that totally. I guess why I would pick the first one is the story, because graphics and mechanics in a game like this, I feel like they fade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Like at the time of The Last of Us, that was probably the best looking game on the PS3.
It was. It was yeah, it was the best story-driven game we've seen too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think another thing this game was missing in particular was a good antagonist. I know we had him, sort of Abby and Ellie sort of sharing that role. But in the first game, there was a pretty clear, even though that person was introduced rather late into the game, I think he was a pretty cool antagonist too that this game.
That's something that I appreciate about this game, because me and Spencer brought that up during our map out. Do you remember this, Spencer? That we brought out that David would not have been a bad guy if he wasn't eating people. And that was almost included just to make him a bad guy.
The eating people part?
Yeah, because he had every right to get revenge on Joel for killing his people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we because I remember we brought that up, that I didn't like that. I thought they could have left out the whole eating people thing.
Okay.
But I feel like they only included it to have a clear cut villain. So I do appreciate about this game is that there really isn't a clear cut villain. So
yeah, that's true, I guess.
Yeah, I think it challenges the boundaries of the gaming storytelling.
Yeah, I think the first game had gone too far in to where they couldn't do anything with David introducing him at that point to not make him a villain, I guess.
Yeah.
It would have been tough to bring him in.
Yeah, so they had to make him kind of radically oh, I eat people.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't like you. So, anything else you guys want to add in general about this game?
Play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Play it. I mean, I don't know if it's worth playing now. We just told you the whole story, even though we kind of jumped around a little bit, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. I know you guys said that, or Alex, you said specifically that if The Last of Us 2 does not come out, I'll be fine with it. What are your thoughts now? If The Last of Us 3 does not come out, are you fine with it?
Yep.
Okay.
Same.
I don't want this, and like I kind of alluded to earlier, I don't want this to become a franchise. I think if they do a third one, that's fine. They've already crossed the point with the second one where I think a third one's acceptable.
Yeah.
But that's it. I don't want to see The Last of Us become this big franchise. I think The Last of Us, the first one, did a good job with the story, and that was kind of the point, and that was kind of its thing. I didn't need a sequel. Sequel happened. I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I liked it overall. I think it's good. I think they pulled it off. I don't know what they're going to do for a third one.
Well, I heard that Naughty Dog was really jealous of Square. They wanted to beat them in the Final Fantasy numbers, so they were going to work their way up to... No, I'm just kidding.
So they're going to do Last of Us 7 remake.
Yeah, Last of Us 21. They want to get there before Square does,
Last of Us 2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
It's got Ellie and Abby back to back with guns.
Yeah.
Hot pants.
Yeah, Yara with a chainsaw. She brought it. They brought it back to life with the serum, with the Spider-Man 4 serum. No, seriously. I want to know predictions. What do you guys think the third game's even going to be? Like, what could it possibly be? Do you think it's still going to be Ellie? I don't think it's going to be Ellie. Personally, I think it's going to be Abby and Lev.
I think Ellie is going to play a role simply because I think she still holds the key to a cure.
Okay.
So I think letting her go, because they really haven't resolved that part of the issue yet, that part of the equation. But obviously, they're setting themselves up to where Abby and Lev are going to have a big role. But I don't know how these things are all going to get connected. But I don't think Ellie is going anywhere. There may even be some instance where they try to get a cure to close the series.
Spencer?
I think it's gonna be that baby has
That
some
baby.
kind of something going on there with the baby.
Very, very good guess, Spencer. The baby.
Yeah.
It's Last of Us 3, the baby. You play from a perspective of a baby. No one saw this shit coming.
Yeah, it'll be literally of the baby.
Hey, we leaked it here, right?
You play from his babyhood all the way up to his manhood. That's the game. And then you have to kill Ellie or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
As a baby. I don't know. Good guess, Spencer.
I guess it could be where the baby wants revenge for his father. Who knows?
Yeah, Ellie's the bad guy. The baby's just hunting down.
His father?
Jesse, who got shot by Abby.
Yeah, Abby did.
Yeah, so maybe the baby's going to come after Abby.
Yeah, maybe we'll come after. No, I want him to come after Ellie because of that.
God.
It's
We have-
their rage at each other is what killed.
Can we have a cutscene where Abby and a baby fight each other? Could you imagine that?
If it gets to PC, it'll be modded that way.
Yeah. That'd be amazing. No, I don't know. I don't even know where the direction should go. I think we'd probably have, want Ellie to head back to Jackson or find wherever Dina went or something. I think that'd be a big part of it.
I think what would be the most important is you have to find another theme that you want to tell.
Yeah, that's the issue. Is that I don't know where they're gonna go with this. I think they pulled it off with the revenge theme and stuff, and then the first one did it really well, and with the whole theme about fatherhood and stuff.
Yeah.
What the fuck this one's gonna do? If the first one's about loss, this one's about revenge.
This will
What
be
is
about babyhood.
Babyhood.
Cure.
Hard out here for a baby.
Cure the babies.
Looking for formula. Like, yeah.
Another baby. It's the hard life of a baby. You kill your first infected as a baby. you have like a shiv on the the end of a rattle.
Yeah.
You rattle the thing and it comes closer and you shiv it in the head or something.
Yeah.
There's a mechanic where you crap your pants. Mash the button to crap your pants.
This is definitely going to happen.
Listen to us, Naughty Dog. I know they're listening to this podcast.
Just taking notes.
Baby, crap pants, got it. Rattle shiv. It's good ideas. Good ideas. I think the real question is why do they have to tease me with Jack? There's also a precursor orb from Jack in Abby's campaign you can find.
They always do this. They always put a whole bunch of teasers. I found actually some too pertaining to some of the franchises. I don't remember what they were. They're kind of collectibles spread throughout.
As far as we know, Uncharted's still going. I know they're done with Nathan, but they're doing a movie now and stuff like that. So as far as I know, Uncharted's still a big franchise for Sony. But they always tease me with the Jack and Daxter stuff because that series has not done anything in forever. And I'm like, Naughty Dog, stop it! Stop teasing me. I was already upset that they canceled 4 to make the last one. So
who knows? Maybe somebody else will take the reins.
All right, Spencer. Can you sell me on The Last of Us 2 as Reggie?
Hi, I'm Reggie. And we just ended The Last of Us 2. I recommend you go to the store and pick up a copy yourself. If you do, you'll get a free picture of me holding up the baby from The Last of Us 2 while it stabs another baby in the face.
Oh my god, baby warfare!
That'll be their multiplayer mode.
We're teaching the kids violence. That's the theme of that's the theme of the third one. What have we done to our children?
Yeah, I'm sure that won't cause any controversy.
Hi, I'm Baby Reggie. Today, I'm here to sell you The Last of Us 2 for our brand new console, the Nintendo Wii U. The Last of Us 2 is a good family game with Christian values. The whole family can get behind. Pre-order today, and I will personally send you a baby in the mail.
Nintendo just has stockpiled babies.
They groom themselves.
They're all named Mario.
They're all like Italian babies named Mario.
Yeah.
They just dude, it's like Yoshi's Island. They like bring him by stork.
Yeah.
Amon, do you have anything to add?
No. I'm all Mario and Luigi'd out.
Thanks for listening, guys. We're just going. Oh my gosh, we're like almost at 3 hours.
Yeah.
Still, are we still not the longest?
We're not.
Damn it! Come on, there was an episode that went up before this one that I haven't heard or seen anything from yet because it's still in editing,
Okay.
and apparently we have not surpassed it.
Wow.
Actually, we may have.
Damn, we did.
We may have, yeah. At
my
this
God.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can thank the babies for that one.
Woo, woo. Thank the baby gods.
Yeah.
Let's all pray. Goo goo gaga. I'm done. Oh my god.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.